What's up? We are live. The name of this stream today is that I made grass in Unreal Engine from scratch. Blender to Unreal Engine. Didn't think it could be done, honestly. I never thought I was going to make my own foliage. But then I found this video on YouTube after the stream ended yesterday, and I was like, that looks so good, I have to try that. And I did. And it came out pretty damn good, I must say. So shout out to Mr. I think it's TryPie. Looks like Trippy, but he made a video a while ago. Is my screen shared? It is. That's good. He made this video a while back. Did well for his channel, clearly. And then he remade it a month ago. He made this grass, and then yesterday he put it on what's it called? He made another video on how to do it on YouTube, or how to do it in Unreal Engine. He really needs to claim his custom URL there. He might actually. It may not. It might. He might have already done it. That's what it is. What's up, Wessel? So this is his channel. I guess I'll leave this up. And so I went into Blender, and I did my version of it, of the grass. This is it. It's not like a difficult thing to make, and mine aren't very good. Like, I'm probably gonna go do a couple other passes, but I went through the basics of it. You know, it's literally just a bunch of planes that are all spun around and whatnot, with a couple things you have to do to the normals. And then I brought that stuff into Unreal Engine, started my own CT foliage folder here. So that's it here. Doesn't look anything special. And I did a little bit of his shader and then a little bit of mine. So it's clearly green. I went with what's called a two-sided foliage, which is probably expensive, but it looks really good. And yeah, I just turned down the roughness, give it a subsurface color so that when it's backlit, it glows like kind of a cool color. It looks nice. And this is, I'd never used the simple grass wind before. It's like really easy. This is the one trick, is you have to UV it a certain way, and then you tell it to be you basically control like where the wind affects the object. And then I stuck, where is it? I'm having a ton of fun with these blocks. Like, this is like really freed me up creatively to do it this way. And I basically made this block that is just my normal floor piece, but then I used an instant static mesh, and I just dropped a bunch of that grass on this. And I didn't even spin it. Like, I can have a script come through and like spin it around and like randomize it, but I'm like, whatever. Like, let's just see how bad this looks. And it turns out it looks amazing. That's the thing, is it looked great. Wasn't expecting that. Looks good in certain lighting. What's up, Pranav? Vitali, what up? Oh, a water texture. Yeah, I can do that. I've been following a couple of Fortnite creative people. I can make that right now, actually. I was interested in doing that yesterday. I don't have any water textures I've made myself, so I'll just have to like grab one that I have. I don't know if it'll tile. But in Fortnite, they give you like 4x2 cubes, and they just have water texture on them, and you just snap them together, and wouldn't you know, it looks like water. And I was like, it's so simple. Why didn't I do that? I'm going to. So here's the grass. I don't have the icons for it. And you know, Fortnite does something similar. And then so this works really well. And we just have to make like environment blocks where it'll go up, and it could be a little bumpy, and it just has the grass on it. And I was like, why didn't I do this before? Part of it is because I didn't have grass I liked. So if you look at it, it's like subtly moving. If I upgrade to Unreal Engine 4.23, the ray tracing should work. The ray trace shadows should work for the instant static meshes, because in 2.2 it doesn't work. So if I ray trace the sun, the shadows go away. And it doesn't look like especially good in this, like, you know, very flat lighting. But in sunset, it looks great. And it took me a while to tune it. It looks simple, but it took me a while to get the colors right and the subsurface relationship. And then when you spin around this way, the reason that this still looks reasonably good is because it is the two-sided foliage. And a couple other things that I had to do in Blender, and I spun some stuff around. And end of the day, when you go for like actual lighting where there's like a strong direction, and even this color cast helps, and the cascade shadows are doing pretty well. It just, the grass looks really good. And until this point, I've bought like, I think 10 different types of grass. I bought like all the grass off the marketplace. I have all the speed tree grass, and I didn't like any of them. They're just, and Megascans. I have a ton of Megascans grass. Like I didn't like it. The open world grass is pretty good that Unreal Engine released for free 1 month. But this has no transparency, so for the overdraw is pretty light. It has a ton of polygons, which I'll LOD this stuff down too. But I'm like, I don't know. It was like really satisfying to make this grass, because I've always been kind of like intimidated by foliage. But I've been watching some Blender tutorials. I was like, I think I'm going to start making my own trees too. Like there's some really easy spline tools with like particle systems. It looks really easy. It's like a mini Houdini in there. And I knew enough about the shader to pull this off, because I've been trying to do grass shaders for like a long time. So I've tried all sorts of different ways of doing grass shaders, and this one just worked out really well. And so I'm going to go now delete all the third-party grass out of my game, and I'm going to make my own grass. And I will make, there's no LODs on this stuff, so like if you dump a ton of this in the level, it's really expensive. Not for a 1080 Ti, but for, you know, like slower computers, you will start to run out of something. And I can have it like randomize itself. I just wanted to see like how bad it looks uniformly. It looks fine. It looks absolutely fine. So I'm pretty psyched about that. I'm gonna get rid of I'm gonna get rid of that grass. I'm gonna just make it myself. Like a bunch of triangles, I can handle it now, but I couldn't before. I was like way too afraid to do it. Like I'm still not ready to attack a tree like that. This is speed tree, and this has LODs in it, and the materials are set up. It's speed tree just is such worth the money. It's like it costs like nothing if you consider the time investment of making your own trees. But grass, I am super happy with that. And so with this, I can go make a bunch of like different like terrain blocks, and I think it'll all work pretty well. Like I can basically take, where is it? That's a floor. Oh yeah, I'm still not used to this. So I can take like this piece. Honestly, if I just put grass on that piece, and then, damn it. We have like a hill with grass, and I just have to make it like a little bit more organic shaped. And have it be solid, so that the side, I'll do it like Fortnite does it, like the side would be dirt and the back would be dirt, in case like you do see that. But just put foliage on it, and maybe like, you know, bring the geometry count down a little bit on the foliage, like it's a little heavy. I just wanted to see, but I'm just so happy with how it looks, because that shader took a minute. Like you can grass, it looked really bad when I first did it, and I was like, oh, this is garbage, I'm not going to use it. But then I finally got the shader to look the way I want, and like at this angle, I thought it, like, this is like stylized, cartoony, like, you know, Zelda grass. I was like, this is fine. I don't need anything better than that. So I was happy to make this grass lesson. I wish I did it on stream actually, but came out cool, and I figured out how you make grass wiggle, which was helpful. It'll go viral? What does that even mean? To be honest, it sells incredibly well. I'm quite fortunate because it's a hot mess of a beta, and it still sells like really well. Thanks, Wessel. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I think I'm gonna start making my own trees in a little bit. Like I can make, just using that one. There's a couple, like that tutorial is like less than 100 people have watched it so far. I was like, that tutorial is so helpful. Like, I mean, I think like, you know, once you have an active product in Unreal Engine, it's like, any of those things are so helpful. Like they put them out there, and I think like the majority of the people that watch them like don't like probably make any money with their Unreal Engine projects, but it is out there, the info. Like someone asked me the other day, I think on Facebook somewhere, they were like, you know, how did you learn all this? I was like, I literally went on YouTube and watched all the tutorials and then did them. That's the difference too, is that I did them. Like most people probably just, I don't know, most people, like it's very easy to just watch tutorials and be like, oh, that's cool. But then, like, I watched them and then did them and failed at them for, like, 2 years. And I'm still having to do that. Like, I don't know how to make grass. I don't know how to make grass. It's, like, really straightforward. But to actually do it was, like, I had to watch that video. And I was like, okay, I finally get this. So that was cool. I don't know. This is, like, one of the... I'm, like... more proud of this grass block than I am of most of the things I've made. Like the cameras and the lights. I've been making cameras and lights in 3D for a long time, but I've never made this. And Unreal Engine makes it possible to give this out. Like if I had made this in Cinema 4D or Maya, and I was like, oh yeah, here's the grass file. Go set up an array and go set up a particle system. Like no one, my user base would never do that. But like this, I think anyone can do. So I had this thought yesterday. I watched the VOD twice, skipping through it. I made a little highlight video on social media. I watched that about 1,000 times myself too. And I watch it until I know what I'm gonna do next. That's why I like making those. I'll just watch it over and over and over and over again until I'm like, this is gonna make it better. And so I don't know. This is like actual programming, which sucks. I have it in Academy mode, is that I need a hotbar now. The game is at the point where it needs a hotbar. But we have a really weird behavior. So it's not going to be like Fortnite's hotbar, like the scripting behind it. It's kind of like Minecraft's, and it's kind of like Satisfactory's hotbar. The point being that like I don't want to keep coming back in here over and over and over again. I mean, you're going to, but like say I want like... because we're gonna have different sets. It's like, okay, there's gonna be like all these floors and walls, but it's gonna be like, here's the house set of them, here's the warehouse set, here's the spooky mansion set, whatever. I just want to be able to take this piece, drag it onto a hotbar, and then when I'm out here, that happens too. Instead of having to like keep going back into there to find them, I can just hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that will automatically bring up the one that I brought down there. So we'll do 5 to start. So in a game where you equip things, and I guess Minecraft works this way. If you hit it, that's what it's set up right now. Actually, like that's equip nothing, equip the viewfinder, equip the light meter. Those only actually work in creative, so you can't actually. I mean, in Academy, you can't do anything with them here. In this one, they're going to be just spawners, because it's basically going to be like like say I want to spawn that floor, I just hit, if it's in my hotbar, I just hit 1, and it spawns it out there. Left click and place it. If I want a wall, I'll hit 2, place it, and then you can just do what you want. Same with the props too. Like say you want to like load up like, I hate every single one of these props, but like say you want to load up like a couple different cars or something like that. Oh fuck, I hit escape because we're playing in the editor, so I turned off the game. But anyway, I want a hotbar that you drag on the objects to, and then it's basically like a quick access to that. It's like you put favorites on there, and you can spawn them out, which is a slightly different behavior than most hotbars in creative games. So it might change. The problem is I have to go write those UMGs, and the game doesn't have any understanding of something like that. Even my current Academy hotbar doesn't work anything like that. It's very different. Like, I forgot about this level. Like we have a hotbar down here, and we have an inventory with slots, but it's just a completely different beast. Like I can't reuse this. You would think, hey. Oh, now it's working. Not that many people have seen this. What the hell? Okay, so something's blocking my click. I don't know what it is. This is new. Shit. I know what it is. It's this dot. This dot isn't set to hit test invisible. Let me fix that right now while I remember that. UI timely fix this shit. It's like I've been those are all, most of those are bad. Most of those widgets are bad. This is my one almost reasonable widget here. So okay, yeah. So it is hit test invisible. Son of a bitch. What? Oh, it's this one, isn't this one? Haha, yeah, right. Oh, there it is. Got it. It's always one fucking checkbox. That's what me and Victor were saying on the live stream. Okay, so now you should work. Hold on, I gotta fix this. Oh, look at that. It's my blueprint. Because I added materials to it yesterday. Hold on. Jumping. Okay, so this should be a little bit... Oh, there it is. I was like, uh-oh. Got all slick and I updated my UI and I was like, it broke everything. So, yeah, so I have this. You can't drag it there. That's what you're going to do in the other mode. You would think I could reuse this. I mean, maybe but like, these are tied together through like an interface for the inventory and an actor component for the inventory. So I'm not even going to try to be like, hey, maybe I could reuse this. I'll just have to rewrite it. But all that has to happen is that like in creative, you would click this and it spawns it. Now I have to make it so that, I mean, I could still have that functionality, but it's like you drag it down here, it stays there, and you don't spawn it here, you spawn it by hitting 1, and then it would spawn it. It's like just, I think that's better, and it's more visual to be like, it just explains it better out of the gate, and I might pre-stock those for you. Like it might, when you first load the game, by default, it's like floor, wall, ramp, roof, like very Fortnite-y. And it paves the way for tools like this, which I want to implement. Do I have a space light? I do, right? Because I do want this in creative too. It's not ready yet. Is that you don't have to actually take out a camera anymore if you don't want to. I'll have like this becomes the handheld camera by default, essentially. You just basically like screenshot, but it'll be like the full camera mechanism, and you can like crouch up and down smoothly and zoom in and do that sort of stuff. So it's like you just always are holding a camera, and this will do something as well, which it currently does not. Actually, all this does right now is look for the first space light and do like an inverse square calculation, which is not correct. But I've been talking with Epic and some people about how to actually implement this light meter. It sounds like it's possible. I just have to go actually program it. But this will come to creative too, but I have to kind of like test it out in this mode. So that's like what I would like to do. Unfortunately, these slots and all this like drag and drop operation shit that I wrote already, not going to work. And also in this mode, the inventory is attached to the pawn. In the other mode, it has to be attached to nothing. It can't be attached to anything because in creative, you possess multiple different pawns, so you can't just stick it on a pawn. It has to be part of the player controller, which is a little gross, which means I have to spawn it as an actual actor, and like it's a little cumbersome. It's a little bit of scope creep too, like for the game. Like I kind of I'm like, I could just finish the assets and this could be pretty much done soon, or I could work on that. I might be able to do this today though. I don't know. I think that's what has to happen though, to have this be clearer. And I'm thinking about killing this mode with the I'd like to get rid of the mouse, but it's not, we're not ready to do that yet. Indian props? What are Indian props? Can the grass react to the player? I could write that. It's a little expensive to always be checking for. I guess they do it on lots of games. We could do that. I don't have it yet. Basically, like, you put like a collision on like the character, and like you basically always, for like all the grass, you always have to check where the player is, and if it's on like a grass, you have to do it through like some like. You can ask for that in the text in the shader. It's constantly asking, and then you basically tell it to like do like the world offset if the character's on it. So we could do that, but that's not high on the list, but it is possible. It'll be fun. Did you weight paint the grass in Blender? Because I used that for a wheat field. Weight paint it. I didn't do weight painting. I did the thing that he does in his tutorial. I like UV'd it. So I projected it from the front. So like the bottom is it's through the UV. So we just like UV it from the front. So like the bottom of the grass is at the bottom, the top is at the top. And then through that material, which I didn't know how to do, you basically can mask like a 2D image, and it basically says like don't deform the bottom of the UV. I didn't know how to do that. I just followed the tutorial, but I can copy that now a bunch of times. Will you randomize the pattern for the grass? The grass probably doesn't react to the player. It doesn't. I'd have to write that. Randomize the pattern of the grass. We could do that too, for sure. I could just go that grass has too many polygons on it. I think like each blade has like 7 quads or something. Like that's like, you know, that's way too many. But I'll reduce the count, and then I can randomize it more. I just wanted to get it into the engine and see what it looked like. And then I can have because like those are all basically placed by the blueprint. I could just tell each one of those to randomly rotate each patch and then start to like come up with different ways. But in the end, all that really matters is that we have grass, because I deleted all the other maps. Like I used to have a map that was grass, which was bad. Well, I mean, it worked, like if you just want a grass map, but now it's just going to be like, okay, you go make your own grass map, or like I'll make a spawner that like basically says like replace every block with grass. So you can almost do this as fast as, I mean, you can. Like Fortnite has auto builds, so you just hold down the left click and then run. I can't quite do that yet. I'm not ready to allow that, because you just start placing tons of blocks together. But you can do this. I gotta click. Yeah, it's not that fast. But you could go and replace this whole place with grass. It's not super fun. But this is the step with the hotbar. See, it's stuck. See, like I don't do the thing where like you check if there's something already there. It'll just let you write like 1,000 of them there if you wanted. Which with this block would be very bad, because there's like a couple, like I don't know, like I don't know how many polygons there is per grass cube here. It's a lot. But there's no material complexity because there's no transparency at all. You could do it. You could do it. And I was watching, what's that dude's name? The Equilinox guy. That's not how you spell it. Thin Matrix. He's working on a game right now. And this road building system he's doing here, I was like, it's the same thing as what we're doing. He's just an editor view, which I have editor view because I copied his game. Or I saw it and I was like, I want that too. And then I changed it. But he basically has a grid system, and you just click on the grid where you want to put roads. And then the roads, like very Minecraft style, if you put 2 next to each other, it like turns into a curve. If you put 4, it turns into a T intersection. Whereas for me, because of the UVing and all the stuff that I'm going to do, I'm going to actually model out all the intersections and build them as 4x4s and 8x8s. He actually is creating the polygons in the game, which we could do that with the procedural mesh component too, but like he flat shades everything. I mean, he could I'm sure he's like a real programmer. He could probably write the UVs too, but like UVing procedural meshes is real hard. I can do a cube. I have it in here somewhere. I have a procedural mesh where like you can do booleans of cubes together. I figured out that math, but I couldn't UV certain booleans. It was really difficult. I'm not even sure that I haven't tested it. Blender's booleans are pretty good. I don't know if Blender actually UVs. I don't think it does. It's really hard to figure out when, like, if you take 2 cubes and you drop one through the other one, if you want to keep like perfectly projected UVs to figure that out, it's like that would take a year probably for me to figure that out, for no good reason. So yeah, the hotbar, it kind of it's like distracting me. Like I don't need it. I really don't. But that was like my thing after watching it back like over and over again and over and over again. I was like, what is not clear about this? Like what's like the one thing that I can do that's missing? Like I can't, you know. Victor from Epic said that like doing the replication for this game would be like super easy, because he's making like a 5-person VR replicated game. So compared to that, it's like this is like nothing. I still suck at replication. I just have to keep working on it. But my mechanics are very light. It's like people walking around and you're spawning objects and moving them. I already, you know, and so you basically have to change everything. Like when you spawn on the server and it notifies all the clients. So we could go multiplayer with this in probably like a month or something like that. It'd be like a buggy multiplayer. But I was watching this over and over again, and I'm happy with the builds. This world grid snap is like the savior of the game. Like for sure. I was like, what? Just going back in here over and over and over and over again is like, it's not the way. And we could do the thing where like you, Am I holding one of these? Where like in Fortnite you spawn like an entire, they call them galleries, I would call them like collections. We could do that. Where you spawn the whole thing out into the world, then you just copy and paste them. But I think it's gonna just keep pushing this update back and back and back and back. That just seems like the thing that's missing is that like some like persistent hotbar that it's like what, like it's like I was watching, it's like it's just not clear what you're doing. It's like, why is there a wall appearing? Like I know why. If I'm the developer, it isn't. I'm the worst person to judge if this is straightforward or not. I think it needs the hotbar where it's like you're placing walls and then you look down, it's like, oh well, there's a wall there in the icon. He's placing walls. Like it has to. You need that like. You need that coherence of like what you're doing to some sort of UI, because otherwise it's kind of like you went and got the wall and then I'm duplicating it, but that's not as clear. I'm gonna leave that. I like working that way, but I think that's what's missing, and it'll be fairly easy to get up and running. I just gotta do it. Oh no, it didn't work. Oh no. Yeah, I don't have the, it's not tuned, so in Fortnite you would be able to place a floor here. I have to be here. Oh, it's not working. Oh, I'm placing the ramp. There it is. They have a whole bunch of fancy stuff happening with Fortnite. Like if you place the floor and you're like stuck in it, it pushes you up. It boosts you. I don't know how to rate that. It's not super necessary. Oh yeah, see, like I can't. It's not quite Fortnite yet. Like I can't. You have to stand precisely and place precisely. Fortnite has a lot of like wiggle room to allow you to do it much quicker. Though I did get this because like before it used to spawn the wall like really far away, which is an issue. So yeah, hotbar. Turn this inventory into, instead of clicking and spawning, which I could leave, it's like click and drag to a hotbar. So that entails having, and they're not slots. Like in an inventory system you have slots because slots have, I mean it could be, like a slot is like an item and how many of that item there are, and like that's a completely different concept. Then it's just, in this case it's just like a shortcut. Different games do it differently. I've been playing a lot of Outer Worlds, another Unreal Engine game, and they do it differently. The inventory, like they have fixed. Theirs is more weapon based. In that case, like I haven't played it on PC yet. I think the equivalent for how Outer Worlds does it is like you'd right click this, you get a menu, and it's like assign this to 1, assign this to 2, assign this to 3, assign this to 4. And then you skip the whole like drag and drop to slot thing. I just think of PC games, drag and drop is like satisfying, and it like very Minecraft, very Fortnite, very just, it's a common thing to do to get right. So they're not slots. I got to figure out like what the name is of this and who owns it. I guess my player controller just continues to spiral out of control into how much it's. My player controller just like handles everything, and it's getting to be an issue. My initial thought is to give the player controller just 5 inventory slots, not dynamic, just have like a literal array of slots. And each one is just, it's not even slots, it's actually just references to the data table struct. And then when you press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it just asks which one of these is in that, and it spawns it like this spawns it. That's all it is. And then the tricky part is just converting these buttons to have a drag and drop operation. These buttons already exist. So this button is what goes in this slot here. No, that has to be different. This is different because I don't want you to be able to drag and drop out of these, or should you? How do you clear it too? There's a lot to it. Like I'm just like, oh yeah, we just add that in there, and it's like then it opens up like all these like the edge cases that you have to solve for. But I really want it. I really want to see like those shapes down there. I can't do it now, but I kind of, I don't think the system's ready to put out into the world until I have that, until it like looks cohesive, like you know you're building those parts. This guy had a Fortnite building system. Oh, what's up, Bledex? You're from Twitter, right? I know you're from Twitter. And this guy did the building animation setup. Oh, are you trying to link stuff? I guess you still can't link. You still can't post links on my YouTube chat. Twitch, you could tell them. I thought I turned that off. I thought like you could post it, but it's not. It's not doing it. I've seen a couple different. I've watched all the YouTube videos. Like if I've I have Googled Unreal Engine Fortnite building systems. I've watched all of them. Most of them are hot garbage. One of them's good. It's the purple one, that purple series. I've watched all his videos. Those are amazing. That's what my inventory system literally is his tutorial. And then I had to change a lot of things, but just getting like the general idea of like the concept of a slot array sorted in my head took me. I couldn't do it on my own. Look, it's a spiral staircase. Kind of. So we already have these buttons. These could use a rewrite too, because they don't have. I know it's not hard, but I know how to do like the mouse, like the details when you hover over it. There's like a tooltip, and you just stick a widget on it that reads whatever metadata is in here, and it pops it up. So I have these buttons. All I have to do is take these and say on drag detected. You're doing a drag and drop operation to here. Now this widget, this department widget, isn't part of the main HUD. So I'm going to have to, and I should do this anyway. I should bring this widget into the main HUD. Oh man, I'm like going to start breaking again. This is always what happens. It's like, oh. This widget operates independently of the whole game, essentially. And then it shoots it back down to the player controller. Not through an interface either. I should probably do this through interfaces. But I gotta bring this menu into the into the main HUD. Make sure that still works. And then there's another widget in the main HUD down here for the hotbar. And so when this button, oh, this gets complicated. I've never done a drag and drop to different HUDs. Does that even work? Oh man. Because like usually when you drag it, for me, when I drag and drop, like I would drag this to there and it's in the same HUD. So you do the scripting just talks to it within itself. But now if I do a drag and drop and it's to a different widget, I don't know how that works. It might work. Like this still hovers, right? Yeah, it is. Okay. I don't know Slate, so I don't know like the actual goings on behind like this button that I use is just like a Slate prefab that they put in UMG. I don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, like what the tick looks like for Slate. But this is a different widget. They're not in the same world, but I'm in here and I'm still hovering. So this makes me think that I could still probably drag and drop and this would detect the drag over, even though it's a different widget. In which case this doesn't have to fold into it. I need to build the hotbar first and then see if I can detect a drag and drop. And then if it does, it needs to check that the drag and drop operation is coming from this, and if it is, it just assigns that to an array of these structs. When you hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it just spawns. It does what this does, but based on that hotbar instead. That would be the first step to making this hotbar work. And then I have to make it like a tool later, which is I don't have to do that today. So the first step is to see if I can drag and drop op onto a separate HUD. So I'm going to make that. And so what is that? It's basically this without it being a button. So what do I call that? We're going to call these... This is like a department item, which is like not an allegory I'm probably going to stick with. But like, what are these? These are... items. They're not items. Items is a name for like the video game mode. like you use items in the game. You don't use these. These are like the game wasn't this complicated when I first started it. It was just like, oh, they're things. Doesn't matter what you call them. It does now. And then you could put lights in there too. This is definitely the move. It's kind of like how Satisfactory works as well. What are these? It doesn't matter. Like, I'll just call them. Shouldn't call it. I'm like, want to call them items, but that's. I'm already using that name for the other mode. I could just still call them items. Doesn't really matter. Item. Spawny boys. What are these things? Fuck. I need to make the button that receives it and displays it. And how would you clear it? You drag off of it. Oh. How do you clear them? Maybe you just don't clear them. Well, what are these called? This is probably department items. Let me go look at the UI for this thing. I've already written this. As long as I figure it out in my head first, I can write this in like half an hour. It's not that bad. Okay, so here's this HUD. It's massive. It's all folded up, but it's very large. Let me look at this for a second. It's smaller than it used to be, and I actually am much. I can. These are all the same. I know how to fix that now. I didn't know how to do that. So there's like 10. There's like 5 of the same script. I didn't know you could use data table handles. I didn't know how that worked. So each one calls a separate data table. So where's the populate? These are the populates. Okay, so this just fills them all in. So we clear it, data table into that's called a department item. That's what I wanted to call it. That's what I did call it previously. So they are just department items. Department item struct has the class reference, the name, a description, an image, and a tag list. That's all you need. All you need is the class, actually. The class and the image. I'll take the whole metadata. So that struct is called CT department item. So the player controller needs a list of those. I'll call it the hotbar. And it's an array of CT department items. And then I need a button that receives that struct to represent that. I'll still call that the hotbar. And then that button, that widget we're going to create, the hotbar item button thing, needs to be able to detect a drag and drop operation from where's the thing I spawn. This CT department item widget basically needs to make a drag and drop that just contains this struct. That's it. I can write this like now. I just have to make sure that this is clear in my head. I should rewrite this too. I can make this all one function with a swap for a data table handle now. Okay. It's the same struct. Is that struct right here? Where is it? What does structs look like? This is it. Okay, this is like the money sauce right here. This is it. People use data assets too. When I'd ask them like what the difference is. Like should this be a data asset instead of a struct? No one really has an answer except that like well, I shouldn't talk. Well, certain people use a lot of data assets who I trust. So who we have, I'm going to leave this open so I remember the name of it. This thing. Go to my overloaded player controller. So can you add components to player controllers? You probably can. You can add components. Oh, God. So like each one of these like gigantic graphs here should be probably broken out into a scene component. I guess they're not, you don't put actor components here, right? I don't know. It should be like components that I'm just adding functionality in like modules instead of like everything is here. I didn't know that. No one told me that. Even if they did tell me that, I wouldn't have known what that meant. But now I get it. I'm like, oh, so like you shouldn't have like 500 functions in one class. Like that's probably a bad idea. But I can start to like the whole like the whole concept of hover select and then interfacing down, that could just be a component that I add to this. I'm like, you have the hover and select component now, and you can do that. But I got to really make sure I like disentangle all the logic for that to work. And then if I make another game, I can just add that shit in there. I don't have to like copy and paste this or something. Someday. That'll happen someday. So instead, I'm going to just add a fuck ton more shit to this. That's what's going to happen. So that's what we need. This needs more variables, clearly. Clearly not enough. God, this is... Some of these are old, too. I don't even think some of these live anymore. Oh, well. Hotbar. Hotbar. Making that hotbar. I'm going to call this hot bar items. It's time to make a hotbar. And it's of type CT. Department item. Struct. Should possibly be a data asset. And it's an array. We have begun. And that's a long compile because this class is stupidly large. Hotbar item. At least we got categories. Call this the hotbar. Hotbar. That's it. Now it's in a group. All organized. I'll compile that too. Compile it. You've probably seen it. I watched all of them. I know there's a game called Just Build. I follow all the Fortnite not all. I follow like a decent amount of Fortnite creative people, so I'm trying to watch it. I was taken back by the fact that Ark has such a fully built out building system. Made me sad. I was like, oh my god. Mine's so bad. Which made me do this. Honestly, I watched someone build like a really cool base or whatever in Ark, and I was like, shit. I can't be getting showed up by Ark. I gotta make mine better. So that's a week later I had programmed my own world grid. That's what happened. Hotbar items. We technically have a hotbar. That's it. That's them right there. Should I... No, this isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work. Well... what does this look like? So I'd have to fill this out by hand. Okay, it's time to see if I really understand data tables. This gets confusing real quick, but I can't be, I mean I could, as long as that's being filled out by something that's pulling from a data table, I don't have to just directly reference it. It's cleaner to not entangle this with, like, keep it as the generic struct and not entangle it with a reference to a data table, because like it doesn't need to know that. It just needs the data. It doesn't need to like know where it comes from, so that's like giving it too much complexity. But if I do it this way, you can fuck it up like a lot easier. I can, like scripting wise. But anyway, so technically it already has a hotbar. It has the struct. And the core functionality is that like I have 5 of those structs that are just from the inventory, and when you hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it spawns it. I already have that function. I guess I should just write that right now and then fill it out. That's the move. Okay. So let's be embarrassed about how I implemented 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's really bad. Uh-oh, where is it even? Uh-oh. Oh, it's in here. It's this. Don't judge me on this, okay? I didn't know what I was doing when I first read this. This is my Azerty fix, which it half works. It half works is the funny part. But there's a lot of different keyboards, so in the end, it's all futile. And I don't even need this, but I'm too afraid to delete it at this point. But this is before I understood how mappings worked in Unreal, so I still have not fixed this. But anyway, now how did I turn this off to consume, right? So this doesn't consume input anymore. Oh my god, that's... This is going to get dirty later. Hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a new graph. Let's make a new graph. I like graphs better than functions. I don't have to say. I just like them better. So we're going to call this the hotkey graph. Hotkey bar. Hotkey bar. Hotkey bar graph. Probably don't need to write graph at the end of it. Okay, so let's write all the hotkey bar graph shit in here. So any day now, I'm gonna write the custom hotkeys thing. So I gotta start actually doing the inputs right. Any day. So, action mapping 1. Hot key bar 1. I think this is the way to go about this, because then they can, yeah, like in like my hot, like if I want to build in Fortnite, I use QEFX. So you would want to be able to remap this eventually. So I'll start that process here. We'll do 5. 3. Fortnite's like a unique beast though, because like they have like a preset building. Like you're in creative mode, you can't actually set it up to have hotkeys to build things. So this is more like a Minecraft style one. 5. Okay. So I'll default them to, how do you do this? Keyboard 1. And because I'm not consuming, I mean, some of my classes are expecting number inputs, but those are all old and they should be deleted out of the game. But I'm still not going to take them. Oh my god. Okay, so we have hotkey bar. So they're just default bound to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're not consuming, or I'm not going to consume the inputs. Which, man, I wish I knew you could do that back in the day, because that's what that other mess of shit was, because I didn't know you could just turn that off. Okay, so we're going to do event hot keybar 1. Event hot keybar 2. Because I would like to remap these already, but I haven't written that yet. I also need to rewrite the settings for the game. I don't give players access to screen resolution or whatever it's called. And that's a huge mistake. Because I played Borderlands 3 at screen resolution at 4K game resolution at 1080. Looks great. Plays awesome. You can't do that in this. Also, Cinetracer doesn't work for Catalina. I've been told by about 100 people this week. So I'll have to work on that soon. I'm pretty sure if I upgrade this whole project to 4.23 and rebuild it on a Catalina system, it probably works fine. Maybe. So, this is the core money here. This is where the things actually happen. Should I write a function for this, or am I just going to write this 5 times? What am I even doing? I'm going to take this hotbar list here, and we're going to do get copy. I'm going to break it, and we're going to spawn this thing, which I have the function for it. Where are you? You. Yeah, I already wrote this. That's good. That used to be, I used to have this written 10 times until I wrote a function for it, finally. That's it. That's all it is. I mean, I don't really have to write a function. This is it. And the index is just literally, well, 0 in this case. And we have to do like kind of a, it's not going to crash if I do this because there's nothing in there. It's just going to be like none, none, none. But whatever. Let's write. This is the not crashy. I feel like if I was writing this in C, it would crash. But like, this will work for now. And then I just either have to do like a valid check of like if there's actually anything in there, or I program it so that there's always something in there, which is what I'm thinking. Because I don't want you to clear it. I should probably write the valid check like right now, shouldn't I? I should do the valid check. You can't valid check this. Can you valid check? Can you do this? Like, can you do get like from here? Because it doesn't matter if it's at the struct level. It's kind of like at this point, like, can you, nah. So this is an array. Oh, you get array length. That's what it is. Well, no, that's not true either. Should this be a set? Because I'm not creating this array dynamically. Not yet, anyway. I don't know how to use sets. That's the problem. Okay, so it's more like you don't like this doesn't, I can't pull it out of here. It's more like I can just check how long is this. That's kind of worthless though. Let's fill it. Let's just fill this thing. How am I going to fill this with a proper struct? I'm going to pull it from a data table, and it's going to populate it from the first 5. That's how we're going to do it. So I have a data table called CT depth table. These names, structures, and these are where all the structures are. So, oh fuck, it's going to take these ones first. Balls. Let's put these on the bottom. Not that this order doesn't matter. Oh, the collections. Yeah, let's stick these at the bottom. And all it's going to do is it's going to take the first 5 and populate the hotbar with that. And then I know for a fact that they'll be valid. Or I'm guess for a fact that they're valid. Okay, so what's this thing called? Get row names from the data table. CT probably didn't need to call it depth table. So we're just going to call it out. There's something with a handle. I don't know how to use the handles all that well. Okay. Custom event init hotbar. We got to go call that on begin play. So all we're going to do. Am I going to give this thing 5 to start? Is that a huge mistake? Or should I just allow this to it? We'll find out. So this should be a function. This is going to get gross. But anyway, so like, it's going to get gross real quick. Hey. Get row names. Is that how this works? And then what is this? Wait a minute. Don't I have to do... Is it get row names? Or there's like 2 data table things. Like row. Get... Is it... And then it's like entry. I wrote this somewhere. Let's just go look at it. I forget how this works. I do this like all the time, but I forget how it works. Where are you? Get the row names. Get this thing. Okay, so this one. I'm going to copy this. Get data table row. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Get data table row. The actual row. And you still have to give it. This is where like you should have like the handle for the table. I don't know how to do that though. Structure. Same table. Boop. And then from that, we're going to add, pretty sure add, yeah, and we just have to do this 5 times. We're not doing any like bounds checking like we should. It'll just be like do it 5 times. Now, can you do like say like do 5, or do I have to have like a variable like counting it? Ah, the bad programming begins now. It started 2 years ago, actually. The bad programming started 2 years ago. Continues to this day. Found CT and it works great. Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. Seems like you've already made a virtual light meter. Possibly. I can't say it's going to work. I'm going to try to make it work. That's all I can do is try. I will try to make it work. Mildly obsessed with making it work. It would be pretty awesome. It'd be like my life's work. That basically Epic Games just told me how to do it. And I just did it. But still, I still would want to do it. And what's up, Kendrick? Okay, so we have to do this 5 times. Is there like a nice way to do that? I never used anything other than this. Can you like do n loop or something, or do for? I don't. I'm a terrible programmer. Isn't there like a do n? I think there's actually a shortcut for it. I got my hotkey thing here. Do n. It's n click. Who knew? Oh my goodness. Now that doesn't work because it's not a I don't get the row here. I'll figure this out. The safest way is just to break this one and then have a counter, but then I have to stick like a local variable in the global, which is kind of gross, but that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, screw this. We'll just do the oh, I guess I'll just do a break, right? For each with break. I hate these things. They're so ugly. But they do what they do. We don't loop the whole table. Okay. So we're gonna just take this is gonna be oh, I don't even need a variable, right? It's basically like when this I hate this stuff. It's if it so we're gonna go, we want to complete the fifth one. So if it equals 4, we're just straight calling it. If this equals 4, we've done the last one and we break. That's what we're looking for here. This will work. And we didn't even need a local variable. Look at this. Look at us. Just check this shit at the end. So if it equals 4, you've done the fifth one, which we want the fifth one. Okay, whatever. I'll leave it. And then, so like, yeah, if it's true, oh, then we do this. I hate how this looks. This looks so bad. Reroute. Oh, gross. Oh, no. I hate these things. That looks terrible. Okay. So, we're going to go through the structured data table for each. We're going to do 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 until it is 4, and then we break out of this loop. Otherwise, we're going to put the entire data table into that struct. And that wouldn't even be that big a deal, worst case. And then this will spawn it, maybe, if I call this on begin play. So we can almost already test the hotbar, I just don't have the UI. Programming. This begin plays a big boy. So this matters here because we don't do this on in Academy. So this is why I broke this out. This is a gigantic mess of a mess. So here, just let me have my mess. Init hotbar. Also do this. Okay, so this might work already. Maybe there's no UI yet, but this is like the functionality that we want, and then we just make things that like show it and change it. Okay. So if I hit 1, oh my god, it spawned a floor. And if I hit 2, you know what? Hey, it's working. I just didn't change the numbers. Where's my hotbar graph? That's the best thing I've done so far. Yeah, I never changed the numbers. So just spawning the first one over and over again. 1, 2, 3. I can count to 4. Okay, there it is. It's also like equipping things in his hand, but that's because I got to turn that off on the pawn that happens. Anyway, 1, there's a floor. 2, there's a wall. 3, half wall. 4, ramp. This feels like Fortnite. 5, the half stair, half ramp. Okay, so the hotbar works. We just need the UI. And then you need to be able to change what's in the hotbar. Okay. I like it. Floor. Wall. 5. Okay. So the hotbar actually works already. That's it. That's what I wanted. Pretty easy. But then I need the UI for it. And then we need to be able to like drag that shit down there and swap the array. This is gonna happen. This is happening. It's gonna be dope. So let's make that widget. I need the what are we calling this thing? Hotkey bar slot. I'll just call it that. So hotkey bar slot. Hotkey slot? Hotkey bar slot? Whatever. Hotkey bar slot. There it is. That's the name. So I need that. And all it needs to be able to do is init itself from a department item struct. And then it needs to listen. It just needs to have an on drop override that takes the drop operation that I haven't written. And then who owns this widget? I guess the player controller. This player controller owns everything. And it just tells the player controller to swap this out, which I'll write a function for it in here. By function, I mean event, because I like events. Too much events. I realized that events are supposed to like actually be events, not functions in event-based programming. But so step one, let's make the hotkey bar slot. Jesus. Okay, so I have this written already so many times. Is it a button or is it not a button? I'm gonna make it not a button. I don't want you to touch it. Okay, so let's add even more crap to this. This is why we got to do it in components. It's because like everything is in here. Everything. At least it's all in one place. It took me about a good week to get everything collated together here. So I'll just fucking put it in here. That's a blueprint class. Widget time. Okay, this is a hot key bar slot. I forget how big I make these. I think 100's too big. I forget. We'll find. I'll figure it out later. Okay, so we'll make it. Yeah, just start by 100. That's fine. We'll start with 100. Size box. Bonk. I'll just force it to be 100, so I don't have to. I can do size by content later for the thing that owns this. Size box. Okay, so we'll just go with like the simple implementation for now before I try to make it like look good. So we'll just stick an image on it. That's it. All it takes is an image. It just wants to show the I gotta make it a variable. It just wants to show the icon of the object. Image, hotkey, item, icon. That's it. This is all we gotta do. And its only job is to, okay, let's just say update. What's this thing called? Slot. Update. Who's gonna call this? We'll find out later. I'm just gonna call it update slot. And so someone's gonna throw you a struct, and you need to know what to do about that. So this is a CT department item struct. Someone's gonna throw this at you. This is your item info, and you're gonna break it. And then we're gonna take this image out of here. I'm gonna stick it in there. Brush texture, set brush thing. There it is. Set brush from texture. Boom. Where's the image? Oh, it's an array. I forgot about that. It's both clever and annoying that I did it this way. Yeah, just give me the first one. We should probably do like a is valid situation in there, but I just program it so that it always has something. Okay, so you can be updated now. So now we need. Now, do I assemble the hotbar as its own widget, or do I just stick that in the main widget? I'm gonna put it in the main widget. Fuck, I closed something. Where's my main UI? There it is. The other loop. Do you have support for multiplayer? I do not. I could probably write it. I think I said this earlier. I think I could basically add multiplayer in like a month, said someone who has never actually done it. It probably would take me longer, but like we could do multiplayer fairly easily. Just because we don't have that many things that happen in the game. But I'm trying to get like the game. I'm still 2 years in, just trying to get the game part to work better. But we don't. It's not a huge request either. Of the requests I receive frequently, it's very rarely there. It's kind of like a what if thing when people tell me that. They're like, hey, what if it was multiplayer versus like we need undo, we need certain things. Like those are requests. Okay, so I forgot how complicated this has gotten over here. So this main widget can go between editor mode, scout mode, which needs a rethinking, and academy HUD, which already has a hotbar. What did I do for that? I did make an equipment bar for that one. I mean, basically we're making the same thing, but it has different functionality. So I did make that a bar, but that's because that's dynamic. I forget what that is actually. I don't remember. But it's just 5 slot. It should be its own bar. It should be its own widget. Okay, I will make it its own widget. I mean, it makes the chain of telephone a little bit longer to debug. It's like, oh, who's broken? Is it the button? Is it the bar? Or is it the widget? Or is it there's just like, it starts to get kind of gross. But oh, and I make it so you can turn this off now with this. But I guess I am gonna make my own hotbar. And how big are these? Because I think I chose this size. How big is this thing? 30? Really? That's 30? This is 30 tall? No, it's not. That's bigger than 30. Nah. This is size to content. How big is this thing? Come here. I mean, we're basically rewriting this. It's 72. Okay, so 72 is what I thought looked good. Is the same? It's just basically like 3 slots with But why? Oh, I remember writing this. It's not going to be that much different for this other one. Actually, it's going to be just as bad. These don't update. That's the difference with this one. These are like in Academy mode. You just have things, so you can't change it though. So it's a different concept. I'm gonna just build it as the HUD. I think that's gonna be okay. And 72 is what I thought looked good. Okay, so let me go back to editor mode. This only ever exists here. Is that true? I think that's true. So it's gonna be a HUD. Regardless if it's a separate HUD that I drag in or I just write it here, it goes in there as this. So let's add a size box. Let's go make this thing. So size box. This is easier to debug for now. So S box hot bar item hotbar. It's the item hotbar. That's what it is. That's a hot bar. Okay, so we got this. Where is it? It's over there. So we will anchor to the bottom right. Zero it out. And 1 and 1. And I do have to. I'm gonna get rid of this soon, but like we got a lot of people who are new to computers who use this, so it's like I gotta leave like the tutorial bar like up by default. 64. Nope. Negative 64. 64. Negative 64. Do that for now. It's gonna look terrible if you leave this bar up, but it's fine. So it's gonna extend out that way. This is just like Flash. All the years of Flash programming, it's all worth it because the UMG system is so similar. So there's the hotbar size box, and what we're gonna horizontal box inside of this thing. Horizontal box. Boop. Man, I'm gonna be so sad if this can't detect hovers. I'm pretty sure it can. I think globally, like the Slate system in general doesn't care where these are owned by. If it's on the screen, it's gonna detect it. God, that's what I hope. Horizontal box, and I'm going to put in 5 of our hot. It's the item hotkey slots, or what they actually are, but it's hotkey bar slot. Yeah. Boom. So we'll do 5. I sense it looking bad down there. Size to content, where are you? Boom. Oh, it's huge. It's gigantic. Oh, it's because I didn't make the size 72 by 72. Make it happen here. 72 is a weird number. It's not square. Like 64. 72. I don't know how I picked that number. I just must have eyeballed it and been like, that looks good. And that's kind of, yeah, that's okay. Okay, so there they are. There's the hotbar. So let's name these. I'm going to call this item. What are these things? I do wish this was its own class. This is the hotkey bar slot 1, so I'm going to call it item. No, what is it? What is this thing? This is And that's not, I guess I'm going left to right, but did this no, it is left to right. Okay, so this is the, and it's what it says it is. It's the hotkey. No, it's the item bar slot 1. That's what it is. Three. If I get this done today, it wasn't out of scope to do this. If this takes any more than today, this was a mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There they are. Oh god. So I got to make a function for this now. This should have been. This is like too much for this class to care about. It shouldn't care. Like, though then again, this is owned by these slots are owned by the player controller. We're like directly talking to the player controller. Now, do we allow it to go back and forth? Oh, I do have to do it that way. This is bad programming. The entire game is bad programming. So we're gonna do. I need a function that fills these in. And by function, I mean event, because I like events. More events. We need more. Nah, I guess maybe I should make a function. Look at all these variables. Oh my god. I guess I should make my first function for this thing. I don't know. I just like looking at this. I like looking at these things. I'll make it a function. Let's do functions. This is going to be called update item hot bar. Finally got the name right. Now, who calls this the player controller? Only on a init. So it's going to need. Just pass it the whole. I'll pass it the whole array basically to start. Let's compile this thing. The whole bar. Okay, so CT department item in this thing. Hot bar item hot bar info. This is an array of those things, and we have just direct references to. God, this is a lot of stuff. These probably don't all need to be variables. Here they are. You. Like this. So we're gonna just assume there's 5 in there. This is pretty garbage how I'm about to do this without doing a for loop, but I didn't make it its own class. I'm just like basically like hacking it right in here. Okay, so we're gonna do for each. We're not gonna break it because there should only be 5. I mean, I'm forcing that to be the case. God, this is going to be gross, isn't it? I'm going to have to be like, if it's 1, it's this one. If it's 2, it's this one. Oh, well. Okay, so is that really how this is going to go down? I could make this an array. I don't like doing that, though, because then like the array doesn't exist until you begin play. That being said, this could go real wrong. Because now if I stick these in arrays, this could definitely go bad. But let us make... Can you make array here? Update hotbar. Make array. I should just do this once. Or should I just do it here? I only call this once. Because what happens is like you're going to drag and drop into this. And this HUD is going to update the player controller. And it never does this again. Let's see how bad this is. Because then I can just for loop, but I don't want to do that whole if crap. I've done that before. It gets as bad as this is. Oh, this could just be local then. It's kind of a waste. But I think it's got to clear the memory after at this point. But so we will promote to local. That's not so bad if it's just a local one. Promote to local. this is already a very ugly function. I could just pull this out of there, but I'll leave it. So we're gonna, this is gross. We're gonna make this array of these. New local var is item slot array. Item slot array. Item bar slot array. And then, where is it? For each, what are these things? This is a button. There's like an update, right? Or what's it called? What's coming out of here? Oh, it's a structure. I see. Okay, okay. So I'm gonna pass that directly to this. So get a copy of this one at this, because they match. And this has a function on it called like update, right? Update slot. Yeah. Oh, we're getting there. This is the boring programming that makes cool things happen. That'll do it. That'll work right there. Assuming all these line up and there's no like nuns. It won't crash. It'll just throw a bunch of like nuns at me, like found nulls, if there like aren't slots in them, etc. So update item hotbar. So I'll call that after. I'll just straight gonna call this. It's kind of weird. This becomes like a real scavenger hunt once this stops working, because I'm calling these kind of like in a weird way. But I'll call this once we init the hotbar. Then I'll call the UI and do the same thing. So this is kind of bad, but I could almost call it off of the back of that, but I'll stick it on the begin play just because, I don't know. Init hotbar, and then we'll call the main UI, get UI main. We'll just do it from here. Kind of bad, but might work. So let's see how this goes. Oh, there it is. Get rid of this. There it is down there. It worked. First time. Yeah, so this is Unreal Engine. I'm on 4.22. I haven't gone to 2.3 yet. So I pressed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, I like it. I need to work on that UI down there a little bit, of course. Okay. So now, who can listen for on drop? I think only buttons can listen for an on drop. So I do have to make those buttons. Or an invisible button that's hit test invisible. If it's hit test invisible, can you drop on it? We need something that receives a drag and drop from here. Drag, boom, onto there. And I'll have to shrink this UI up a little bit, but we need to create a drag drop, drop it, boom. It's interesting actually. Oh, that was funny when it was like dropping down. If I click here but then let go here, it doesn't activate it. That's weird. Is that like on released? Am I doing like on released? It's gonna do it? That's really odd. That's not what I would expect from that, but that's good for me because then I can drag drop it and you could click it, or you could you could drag it here, and it doesn't spawn it. So I thought I was gonna have to like do something different, but that's gonna work out fine. Okay, okay, this is happening. I mean, the hotbar's already there. Honestly, just those is enough, like, for me to like this. So I need to receive this drag and drop. I need to create the drag and drop and then receive it. I think only buttons have on drop. Maybe not. Let me go look. I forgot how this works. So this thing needs to have. I think I need to put a button on. I don't remember. So is it here on drop? Oh no, you just override the whole thing. On drop. Oh, that's it. Oh, never mind. Okay. Now, will it detect? Okay, so we need to detect. We need to just test if I can drop onto this. Okay, so you just do on drop for the entire slot. Okay. Okay. So we need to go to the department menu. Oh, this is getting a little bit wandery here. So I need to drag and drop for this button. This is the current inventory button, which I would love to rewrite this to actually at some point. How bad is this? What the fuck is all this shit? Oh, this is not so bad. Okay. I see. It's just written weird. Really weird. Who wrote this? What the hell is that? What the... It's not so bad. It's just this one function looks terrible. Man, what the hell happened here? Okay, so we need to do... There's a whole... What is this? Oh. Yeah, you used to double click the buttons before I knew that there was a double click function. I used a timer. So you got to do... I guess I could delete that. I could delete that out. This could be shrunken up. Anyway, I need to make a drag and drop happen. So I have to remember how you detect on drag. It's like... one of these things. It's like on mouse preview or something like that. Isn't that what on preview key down? That's what you have to call. And then it has to be like key event is like left click or something like that. Like mouse. Okay, this is not it. Let me go find someone who's done this the right way. I have this somewhere. Who's drag and drop in here? This is gonna be in your inventory. The inventory button is drag and drop. But the question is, where did I put that stuff? If it's not in a... Oh, it's in Academy. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Because this... At one point, I was like, if this all breaks, I'm going to just delete all this entire folder. So, where's the button? Is it that? That looks like a slot to me. Okay, so what do we do for you? How do we do this? On mouse. On preview mouse button down. We do that. Oh, we get a drag detect. Okay, yeah, I never remember this stuff. On preview key down. That's not it apparently. So we want to do on preview mouse button down. Where is this thing? Wait a minute. On what is this one? On preview key down. On preview mouse button down. Where is it? I didn't see that. On preview mouse button down. There it is. Well, I'm assuming. Yeah, left mouse button. Left mouse button. Do I have to connect anything else? Yeah, mouse events got to go in there. They're the same. Oh, this doesn't work. That Q button doesn't work. Okay, so now this button... Ooh. Uh-oh. I'll just kill this entire override. Yeah, there we go. And then, okay, so who... This is getting confusing. So, we need to do on drag now, right? Let me look at this. On drag detected. On drag over on drop. This one doesn't get a drop. It just gets an on drag. So on detected, we do some stuff. We create a drag and drop operation, which I need to go create that. That is this, actually. That's the preview. That's the drag and drop itself. The sound. And then you got to return the operation. So this is on drag detected for this. Yeah, okay. On drag detected. There it is. Okay. So let's go make that drag and drop operation to start. And it's a department drag and drop. Which I think it's okay to put in there. So let's do a... I forget how you do this. Drag and drop. There it is. Drag and drop operation. Drag and drop dat. Gonna say drag and drop. This is a department item drag drop. That's a weird name, but whatever. Okay, so and all what I need in this is just one struct. This is going to be department item info. That's what needs to get sent downstream. And it's of type that struct CT department item info, this thing. That's it. That's all I need to come down with this drag and drop. Okay. Create drag drop operation. Of class. I have so few, I don't even need to preface this stuff, but yeah, that very poorly named one right there. We do need a visual in the payload. Now, don't we need to... Can I like refresh this or something? Shouldn't it like give me the struct? Is this the payload? Payload of the drag could be any U object that you pass along as drag data. If you were building an inventory screen, this is the U object representing the item being moved to another slot. What did I payload this one with? Nothing. Ooh, there's a variable. Where's my variable? How do I get this variable down there? Hold on. I hope I'm not breaking this one. Where's the offset? Where's my... Let me compile this thing. You better throw me a variable down there. Hold on. Fuck. Where is it? How do I pass it the info? This. I want this to go in here. Does it go there? No. Yo, where does this go? This drag and drop operation exists so that I can put this in there. Do I have to like edit it or something? Is that what happens? Do I have to like set? There it is. Okay, that's fine. Okay, set that. Ew, is that really how this works? So I'm gonna set it before I send it forward. Ew. Is that gonna work? Is this how you do this? So you create it and then you like call it like a function on it and init it. Okay, that's not so bad. I thought it was like maybe you can expose on spawn. Oh, expose on spawn. Okay, yeah. Okay, here we go. So maybe I can do like expose on spawn, instance editable. And then now are you here? If I compile this. Nope. Refresh. Oh, there it is. Okay, fuck this shit. Get out of here. Ah, that's nice. Much smaller. So I need like a little widgety situation for that. I guess I'll just create a... I mean, this widget sucks. I gotta go clean this thing up. What is this thing called? Oh, it's this. It's this itself. It's whatever this is. Department item. No, it's not. What is this? We were making one of these. That's gonna look weird. But I think that's what I want. Yeah, we're gonna make one of these. Hotkey bar slot. Oh god, this is. We've entered the confusing part of this. Okay, so we're gonna make a hotkey bar slot. This is where if you name shit crazy like I have, it's like, good luck, good luck. So we have this thing, and I need to update it. Update the slot. Oh god, thank god I made it a struct. That's easy. You there. That's it. And then this goes here. This is testable now, I think. Okay, that was the worst. Boop. Oh, look at us dragging dropping miniature versions of these things. They're so cute. Boop. Boop, but they don't do anything. Okay, so let's go detect that. We almost done here. This is happening. How long have we been going here? Hour and a half? Ooh, hotbar. Almost ready. The sounds, I can't even hear them. I think my thing is dead. We must detect. We must detect undropped for this slot, right? This guy. You. Oh yeah. Okay. On drop. On drop. Yo. Where did this go? On... How come I don't see this? Oh, I already did it. That's why. Okay, let's do... Now, operation... Do I have to cast this? I have to cast this, yeah. Okay, so we're going to cast to... That's the good thing, is that you can... Lots of things can drop, but we only act if it's this one. Look at the name of that. That is just not good. We're going to do... I'll just switch it. Get the info. Now, wait a minute. Who's doing what here? We'll just do... I'll call update. I'll call my... Update self that. It's only going to change the visual. It won't change the it won't actually change the player controllers list yet. That would be next. Okay. Oh, fucking magical. Good God. Yeah, Dragon Jump's so fun. Look at that. Boop. Boop. Oh, it's working. This is dope. Is it making sounds? I can't hear them. I think my thing is dead. Kitchen. Look at these icons. So I imagine nice looking icons, and I can do a good job with that. I just gotta actually do it. So the icons have switched, but if you're doing the thing, it's still gonna pull them out. Like, it doesn't care. It didn't update the thing. It didn't update the actual moneymaker. Doing 90s. Oh, I'm falling. Cool. Okay, we got the visual. We just have to... If I just go and style up this slot and then actually make icons, it's gonna look good. It's gonna look good. So, on update slot, we could also do like a check. It's like, we don't want you to put cameras there. We only want you to put structs or whatever. It'll be like... doesn't let you do it. So on update slot, now we got to be careful about this now. So update slot, it just switches the icon. It just switches the icon. So we have this thing where like player controller is talking to this, and this talks to player controller, and this gets called by player controller. This is where you do like public and private functions, I think. So like you don't accidentally call this and it like infinitely like calls itself. So we switch the visual. On drop here, we need to call a function called, I'm gonna say, yeah, okay, we'll make a function, we'll make an event called update hotbar. I'm gonna write it out like real explicitly. Update player controller hotbar item slot. That's now more confusing than it is helpful, I actually think. But so this slot needs an index, so it needs to know which one it is to return back. So we're gonna do hotbar index int. And when I make this hotbar, we need to give it the index. Then I think I'm pretty sure we're in a for loop. No, we're sure it's not in a for loop, so I have to do that. Oh, player controller. Okay, so we have our hotbar graph. So when I init it, I am... What the hell am I doing? Okay, so we do loop through. Okay, it's because these aren't created in code. I just made 5 of them. So in the init hotbar, I can also then take my hotbar items here. Is that all the buttons? And I'm going to loop this again. Wait a minute. What am I... Where is the actual... What am I spawning? Add. This is the actual... Wait a minute. Where's the actual list of buttons? Do I have that in an array somewhere? I thought I did this. Who's doing that? Is that in the UI? God, this is a mess. Who? It's the UI is doing this. Okay, so the UI has the UI has this list. These need to have numbers added to them. But who's doing that? This is why you should probably create this in code. Just like at the beginning, it just like creates them and knits them. So this exists here. Update item hotbar. It's kind of like init item hotbar in that I have to call this in the beginning. So we have this array, update slot. Oh, I can do it right here. This is kind of bad. This is, well, no, I guess it's UI talking UI stuff. It's not the worst. So I can do set index. Okay, I thought I could. Set slot index. Isn't there? Didn't I just make a variable for this? This is the button. Oh, that's just a structure. This is the, okay, this is it. Set index. There we go. This will work. Gonna be kind of hell if I have to, this is not set up in a very like understandable way. Oh, it's messy. Index. That looks terrible. I'm gonna name this thing init hotbar because it's not like you're gonna call this again. It's just called. It's just like up. You just up front need to call this, or else the whole it just doesn't work. Call this init. Init item hotbar. Okay, so now it has an index. Has an index. Okay, we gotta remember what we're doing. So we need to talk to the player controller and tell it what index is being updated, and then call that correctly. So, do I make a function for that? I probably should. Like, update hot keybar at index, and you just pass it a hot keybar item versus setting it hard from it. Yeah, we need an interface, so we need like an actual function. I'm gonna do an event. Custom event update item hot keybar at index, just an overly long name. And it's going to need an index and a struct. We almost done the thing here. This came out together much faster than I thought it was going to. Item info. CT department item. I'm not going to bounds check it because we're ballers who like errors. Update this. So set element, array element. We got to bounds check this at some point, but hold on. We're going to update it at this index, this item. And we call this from the button. So I need a reference to the player controller as well. I don't like that. I don't like having to, I don't like that at all. Who has the reference to the player controller? I would rather these buttons to have no idea. I could give them dispatchers. I could have the button give a dispatch, and then the main UI listens for that button dispatch call, and then the main UI has a reference back, and that's not so bad. Does this main UI know who the player controller is yet? It doesn't, right? Oh no, there's like a shit ton of variables in here. Jesus. Is there a ref to player controller in here yet? Yeah, so this already has a reference to the player controller. So I would kind of rather have... Why did it make this a function? I would almost rather it listens for the button to switch, and then the main widget, with its already having a reference, it does the actual updating. Though that's a telephone call back. Like, I'm going to have to remember that that's how it's happening. Nah, fuck it. The button's just going to do it. I don't want to do that. I'm going to get confused doing that. Where are you? So who's doing the swap? Who does the swap? The slot does it itself. This does it. Okay, so we already started writing it. So I need a reference to the player controller. That's all. It's kind of heavy. There's only 5. There's only 5 of these. That's okay. So I'm gonna do ref to player controller It's a little bit. You probably shouldn't do this. Like, how? What is a player controller? Ugh. Oh yeah, it's the PC Cine game. There we go. There it is. Object reference. I don't usually do it that way. That's just kind of weird for some reason. I could also do a get player controller. I'll just pass it to it, I guess. This is messy. This thing shouldn't know what a player controller is, but I'm gonna be even worse and just do it right here. Let's just do it. This is so bad. But I more than anything want this to work and move on than have the best thing in the world happen. So yeah, I can just do this. I'll just cast on the front of it. I only have one player controller unless I have a player controller for like the menus in the beginning. That's it. We only have but one. We have a ref to our player controller now, in theory, when it constructs that HUD. I think that's going to be okay, because it's not going to try to do this before the game is like, because like you don't know when this construct gets called, but this is a user initiated action, so like it's not going to like it's not going to like not exist yet or something like that. So this, and what did I call that function? I have no idea. What do we call this thing? Update item hotkey. So long. Okay. It's just as long as this. Update item hotkey bar. And hey, at least I found it. That's all that matters. And this is the actual sauce here. This is like things are like actually changing. And you don't have any info? Where is this? You don't store the info. Oh, okay. This is bad. So we're going to store this on update. Promote. Stored item info. Update slot info. Yeah, that's good. I'll put that there. So this might work already. Magical. No sound on drop. What resources do you find most valuable to help learning? YouTube. Just straight up YouTube, man. Lots and lots of YouTube Unreal Engine tutorials. You just gotta find them. They're out there. Okay. Let's swap some shit. So let's stick a roof there and a roof gable there. Oh, I like it. And so we're gonna hit 1. I gotta put the numbers. Then 2. I could hit 2 again technically. 2. And then I can hit 3. Uh-oh, that didn't work. Okay, so it didn't actually update the list. Did I not finish writing the function? Is that possibly what happened here? Oh, it's time to debug. I never called it from the slot. Is that possible? Is that what happened? Like I never call this. Like no one calls this thing. That's gonna be on drop. We never call it. So if it detects a drop from the inventory, essentially, we update the slot, which updates the info, and then we call the player controller long function name. This one. We never called it. That'll do it. Okay. Nothing too crazy. Let's update some shit. You and you. Oh, I like it already. Click. 2, 2, 2, 3. Oh my god, it works. And then 4. Oh, it's so much better this way. 4. I might have it drop selection too when you plop it out there. Or not. And then this one is just 2. Oh, that's lovely. That's real nice. So those are like hotbar spawners. And all I got to do is style them up nice so that they're not just like transparent pictures, and write what the hotkey is under it. Ooh, that was not bad. 144. I'm impressed with myself. 1. I don't see the hotkey. 5. Oh, it's because the icons are wrong. Yeah, I got to remake all my icons. Fun. 5. Oh! I didn't place it. So the thing that I can do now, which I don't know if I'm going to, is that like typically in a game like this, if you hit 1, right, like the preview comes out and you click, and when you let go, another one comes out. And it's like the preview, but then if you turn it off, you don't place it. Mine, it's just like spawn it out there. So it's not as fluid. Like you can't like turbo build, right? You have to like click it, but it's still faster than it was. So let's see how much fast. Like, so can I do like the fly build? So the thing is like, the question is like, how quickly could I fill this entire map, right? It's not that fast yet. So it's 1 click, 1 click, 1 click, 1 click. Yeah, so it's still kind of slow, but you can do it. Versus like if it's a persistent tool, it's just like 1. It's just like 1, then you just like hold click and it just spawns it out there. Like, nah. So baby steps. The hotbar exists. There she is. I like it. Now we do want to skin it to match my like kind of new style here. So I'll probably just put this gray behind it for now, with a box around it, and then the hotkey callouts under it to style it up. So we did it. Boop, boop, boop. And then what I roll out, where's the ramp? And then pretty much the way that most these things work out is that like these will default they'll by default have some stuff there. Most people will never change that, or they won't. You know, it's like a lot of, they're not going to take the time, but so it's important what I put down there. It could even be something like the cool thing is like, it could be like camera, like stand, and then a light. This is cool. I wasn't even thinking about this. And then it could be like your favorite talent. Or it doesn't have to be your favorite, it's just the one you, whatever. Like that. This is cool actually. Uh-oh, what the? Oh, I have a, oh my good God. I had the console out. So yeah, it's really just like whatever you want. So it's like 1, place a camera, 2 is a light or a stand, this. Oh, you can't do like the, I broke this so that you can't actually connect them unless you're here. Ooh. There it is. There's something real funny about when something selected hover doesn't work so well. Sometimes. I don't know why. But it's cool to be able to just like quick spawn these out there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then 4, 5. Game is better already. It's already better. I'm gonna stand on this. No, I'm not. Ride the stand. So yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about it for building, but it's really for anything that you want a hotkey. I like it. So let's make this. Those are fine. That's the thing where like I'm calling a HUD before it got created from the construct or something like that. So let's make those icons not look bad. So that's this. That's all this it is really. So I just need to skin this up to look better. So this image is going to be transparent, which gives me the opportunity to skin it. So we're going to do, put a border and then a border. That's it. Just start with a border. So I'm going to wrap it with a border here. Oh, I was gonna make it gray, right? So I want to make it like this gray, I think is the gray I'm using. I don't remember. I think it's that one. And make it How big is this thing? 72, so like a 2-pixel board or something like that. Might look okay. Let's just look at this to start before I go any further. Okay, so it needs a little bit more border, and then I'm gonna probably put a white box around it or something. I don't know. Doesn't quite match the, it wants to look like that. I think they could use some space between them. A little bit more border, at least. Let's start with that. So we'll do 4. And we want to put space on the hotbar, which is owned by the main UI. Which I don't regret super hard now that I did it this way. So I can do padding. Is it padding or is it like... There's like you can do something to give it space. Or I can just put a spacer in between each one. I'm just going to put a spacer between each one. That's just like explicit and easy. So if the border is 4, it's probably also 4 would be reasonable looking. Dupe. I can just select them all after and scale them as needed. Duplicate. Let's see how 4 looks. I think it's probably a little bit too much space, but we'll find out. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't know why. I hate it. Looks terrible. It does match this though, but I hate it. Looks gross. Gonna have to figure that out. But for now, I'm gonna just put the hotkey labels on them. I'm gonna do it like Fortnite. Now, is it gonna be part of the slot itself? I think it is. I think it is gonna be part of the slot. That'll make it really easy for me for now. So I'll just overload the slot to have the actual hotkey call out as part of its situation, which makes it more valuable as an individual asset than I don't, you know, because I don't have a hotbar like actual widget just for itself. I'll just do it right in here, which aesthetically that's gonna suck a little bit, but I'm gonna do it here. Okay, so this is 72. What if we just do 100? But this size box stays at 72. You should be staying at 72. What happened here? Oh, this is the whole size box. Okay, so we need to wrap this in a vert box. I see. Okay, yeah. So this is gonna go vert box. You go to the top. Yep. Okay, and this gives us this room down here, and this is defined. So this is now 28. So I've put like a 28 box in there. So let me get another one. Okay. And then we just need I'll do a gross looking one just to make sure it works, and then we'll clean it up. So we'll have a image. Yeah, I want the image for the key outline, which is mine. It's kind of large. And then we need to overlay image overlay with text, which is the actual hotkey, unless it becomes like a weird one. So say 1, that's a gigantic. Get rid of the bolding. We'll just do regular. Might do light. Might do 12. Centered. That's to something. Why is it so like centered badly though? It's like at the top. Have to fix that. Let's just get this one out there though, and then we'll make it pretty later. So this is the text block hotkey, and we'll just do on construct for it. It's not going to change. It would always, well, once we do dynamic hotkeys, this would have to be, it'd have to pull from the ini file, but I'm not going to do that. So we will do this hotkey. What do I have to compile this? You can't. Oh, I see. I need to construct, right? I need to go to this. Oh, we got a couple things happening on construct now. I'll just do it right here. I'm not gonna make a function for it. Not set. We're gonna do set text. Like that on construct. I might even do pre-construct for it after. Promote to variable. This is your hotkey. And we're going to make it instance editable expose on spawn. And back at the main HUD, we'll just set these. So hotkey is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wherever did we get the inspiration for this layout? Oh, you can't read it because it's so bright. Guess we have to drop outlines on it. It's there. It's just real. Oh yeah, it's way better already. Like, this is just way easier to explain. It's like hit 1 and the floor comes out because the floor icon says it does. Hit 2. And then all I have to do to make this like a Fortnite style one is that when you place it, we don't automatically select it afterwards, and we just spawn another one. We don't have a like a non-building state though. We're basically like always building. But that's the way to enable like turbo building. And then you just have a timer that tells you how fast you allow people to build. And then we need to have like a block. Like if we don't want to place like 20 of them there, we want to just be like, if there's one there already, just like don't spawn it. Okay, so we need to get to this. We need to fix it so that you can see it while it's full on bright out here. But they're there. I could either back them and make them tall, like what's it called? No Man's Sky has tall icons for all their stuff because they have so much metadata for every single like item. I could either give this whole thing a background or I do like a shadow, which I don't know if you can shadow an image. I'll find out. You can shadow text for sure. Like this as a drop shadow. Can you do that to this? Probably not. I'd have to like go make a shadowed version of it or something like that. Which makes me just think I'm going to put a border behind it. This is going to look so ugly. God. If I do that though, if I put a border behind this whole thing. Border. No pad. And this color. Ooh, it's ugly. That's gross. That is gross. It'd be less gross if we just like gave it like a 4 pixel space and then just drop the opacity of the outline. Wouldn't look as bad. So let's get, so we're gonna take another spacer here, right there. Hey, we're doing 4 pixel borders. Is that what's going on? I think 4. That's a lot. And that bumps this. So now there's nothing governing the height of this. Because it's just a vertical box. How does this know how tall it is? Like it needs to be like 104 now. Seems to be working. I usually would wrap this in a size block that's like explicit. That's not the worst. I mean, it's pretty bad. I'm gonna make this a little bit more transparent. Is it this one? It's this one, right? Yeah. So opacity 0.5. Yeah. Even this hotkey could probably be chilled out a little bit. Like, doesn't need to be like like full white. I don't like it, but it's what it's going to be for now. Styling, I mean, I don't like any of these. I don't like these either, but that's where they are. They've been like that for months. It gets it done for now, and it's at least in the color palette. Okay, so 1, 2. And it immediately gets you into building without having to be like, you go in the inventory and you find the building stuff and what are all these things. It's like, that takes time to like find that, versus this is just like, oh, what if I hit 2? Like, it immediately gets you building. And then there's nothing that tells you that you can do this either. That's going to have to be something I explain or something. Ooh, oh, there's like a hotkey behind it now. Oh, fuck. This is why I shouldn't have put the hotkey as the actual button. Because of the drag and drop. Oh, well. Hey, look at the blocks, though. I'm going to put a block in there. Because I think the block is cool. So now if I hit 4... 4, 4, 4. I just think it's a cool piece to start with. Oh, these hotkeys are life now. I mean, I do everything with duplicating, but that's just how my mind works. I think this tool-based hotkey bar makes a lot of sense. Especially, I mean, just in general, like it probably should have kind of always been there. So it's like, it's still kind of like a chore to come through here and be like, what even exists and like, what do we do? But at least once you like know the ones you want, you could just drop them in there. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so we implemented that in 2 hours. I call it right there. It was 2 hours to get that done. What's up, Ryanville? Do you like it? Do we like this? Allow for previews and turbo building. It's so necessary. I could do it. I could do it. The only thing with turbo building is that every object needs to... It's basically on mouse down, you set a timer and you just spawn it like a lot. But then you need to have logic that doesn't allow you to spawn like 1,000 of them on top of each other, because I don't do that right now. I'm not sure the best method for checking if something's there already and the rules for that. So I'm still going to keep turbo off, but it's there. Like, I could write it. It's just I need to have something that stops it from spawning on top of itself like a million times. Boop. Boop. Oh, yeah, this is fun now. Yeah, basically turbo building, we just turn, like, the function is like spawn item, have it, there's a couple different ways that it's moving in preview, and when you click, you place it, you, in this case, you just stop it from moving, and then I have it select it. We would have it not select it and instead spawn another one, and that would be turbo building. But we need to stop, because like I can just do this, like I can spawn like a ton of them like on top of each other. We have to stop that. Or else you're just gonna turbo build like 100 there, 100 there. And then I think like if you're expecting a turbo build like Fortnite, you'll be not satisfied the fact that like my placement is not as nuanced. Like it's not as good. Yeah, like in Fortnite that would have built it. Yeah, there we go. And then nah, it's not even. Oh god, I can't even do it. There we go. Like, I have to work on my placement mechanics. Like, I just wrote this, so it's kind of raw. Like, oh no. I lost focus of the window. That doesn't happen in the real game. That's because we're playing an editor. Well, it's a little bit dumb that when you drag and drop, it has this box in it. Really, that's really bad. But what I could actually do is just change the drag and drop operation. So it's this, right? It's you. It's this. If I create one of itself instead, it's not as bad. What is worse, having this weird transparent one? This is transparent, right? Yeah, like this has no backing. I could just give this a border. I could give it a background right now. I've been wanting to rewrite this thing, actually. I could just give this a border. And we drag and drop this instead. Let's do that. Okay, we have an overlay, 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 size box. So this just takes a border. With no space for now. What? Okay, that's fine. And we'll just give this the same color as the UI, which I think that's the UI for the back of it. And we'll spawn this instead. So it's going to be kind of, you're going to drag a 200, 200 onto a 72, but it should be okay. This just looks ridiculous to do it that way. So we're going to create widget here. Boop. Class is whatever this thing is called, WCT department item. This must have a function called like update or something. Oh god. Oh, what? Really? What is all this stuff? Oh, I gotta update my... Yeah, don't like take over my computer. There's no like exit button for this thing. You serious? Bro. Oh my god. I can't like close out of this. And it's like taking focus of my thing. I have to renew this antivirus. You serious? Like I can't... I've got 2 monitors. Screw you. Okay, so I did this really dumb. Like you can't... There's no like... Oh, never mind. Here it is. Ref to parent... Okay, this thing's kind of heavy. We do have an init. Okay, no. We have it. It's right here. Init. Okay, we got it. Okay, I was going to say, like, this is really bad if I can't do that. So we have init department menu. That'll do it. Here. Okay, so init department item. There it is. It's just a preview of it. It's not, like, massively important. I mean, is it going to be sad if I don't give it that? Is it going to throw an error at me, like, every time? Probably. This game has evolved a lot since I wrote this menu. There. So it'll be like you're gonna drag and drop like a gigantic icon into a small one, but I'm okay with that for now. It's better than the one that has the hotkey on it. Oh, what? Error. Target self. That was it, I think. It's so big. This wasn't designed. Oh yeah, that looks stupid. Okay, so okay. Yeah, that's insane. You can't see it. It's like he completely covers it. Sad. Okay, well, we thought we were clever. So I do need to actually just make like a simplified one. Or take the numbers out of the other one. What's up? This is not a difficult problem to solve. I'm just stubborn. I'm about to just make another one. I'm about to just like duplicate that. Is that a terrible idea? I could also make like a function that like just collapses that thing and it doesn't show it. Or put the numbers not part of the... I mean, it's easy. I just gotta pick which one of these I want to do. That's not it. Man. I could just take these numbers and implement them separately, which wouldn't be so bad. I just put these in a vert box itself and just do them by hand. But then I have to style each one individually and like... So I think... I'm pretty sure that people do actually write different drag and drop visual HUD. Like, so like when you drag it, it's its own special thing that is like very clearly is different. So I'll do that. Where is that gonna go? So we're gonna take... It's this, right? Yep. And on... No, it's the drag of this one. Ah, this is a mess. It's a mess. It's this. It's this big. No. Where's the big one? It's not. That's the. Let's get rid of that. Let's not screw that one up. That one works. That's the drag and drop. That's fine. It's this one. It's the big one. It's just because like the the icons are different. They're just different sizes because they're different. So, friend, what I'll do is I'll make just a smaller version of this one that's specifically for drag and drop. It's the drag and drop version of this. And it's just for visual reasons. I think I'm okay with that. So that would be in my department menu right there. Yeah, so we have a drag and drop operation. We'll just have a drag and drop, whatever, drag and drop widget too for the department item. But I want it to be basically the same as this, minus all this functionality. Duplicating widgets is a little bit wonky, but I like this minus that. It's not hard to write. Should I just write this from scratch? I'm gonna duplicate this. This sometimes goes kind of sideways, duplicating widgets, for me, just because like the logic starts to like just doesn't like it. Like if it's like referencing itself and it's not the right class, then it gets bad. But I think it's this one. Yeah, I'm gonna duplicate that and just make one specifically for visuals. Duplicate. So any references to self now within this, logic wise, it's like it's not gonna get very happy. This is a department item drag visual, drag HUD, drag widget. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, and that's gonna go here. Move. This is the point where we say we're not. I've done this before where I've duplicated it and then edited the original, thus breaking everything. I think we're good here. So we'll go to the new one. Drag widget. I'm still okay with this. So let's delete out all the stuff that we don't want. So this stuff, making sure we're not doing the original. Okay. Replace with child. We'll force this back into 72. 72. Let's go rip out all this extra logic stuff. Now we still need the init. We don't need this. Does this need a ref to the player controller? No. Does it need to do that? Yes. This? No. Doesn't need any drag and drop stuff. That's not going to compile. Yeah. Okay, so let's get rid of all these overloaded functions. So there's no dropping this thing, right? This doesn't even exist really. It's like just spawns and dies after you drop it. So go away, hotkey, and I think that's it. And then we just use this instead. And this has been quite a journey. So on drag detected, yeah, it's this one. We're already in it. Okay, so we're gonna just do this again. I didn't pick a class. This is called WCT department item drag widget, which makes sense. And is there like an update function in here? Update slot, there it is, that's fine. Update slot with this. And it just dies right after you let go. It's just a visual. Okay, so let's see how this looks. That looks fine. Ramp full goes there. And I want to put my block here. Fuck, I hit escape. Escape works in the actual game. Okay. Cube. Ramp. Don't hit escape. Okay. So that worked. I wasn't even paying attention. It worked. That's like no, you know it worked because I didn't even look for it to. Yeah. So that's good. So let me just do the cube again, like a wood cube. I mean, these icons are like not the final, but yeah, it scales it to being just this, and then it makes sense to like right there. Don't hit escape. 1, Wait a minute. 1. I hit the wrong hotkey. 2. 3. 4. I can just duplicate this. And then 5. G. I like it. Now, I don't think... now, I'm not really sure how to convey that this is possible. And this HUD now is like, you know, obviously like... needs to keep in mind that that's there, which it didn't before. And then all sorts of like screen resolution things throw this to hell. But I could also... I think in Minecraft, you don't actually drag it to the actual hotbar. There's like a hotbar in here, right? And it says like... equip it. So I could probably just like we don't actually drop onto this one, we drop onto like a virtual one, and it just updates this one just for clarity. So it's like, oh, okay, so like the point of this is to go search through here, and then if you want to just drag it down, but you could still just use it like this. Oh, or not. Uh-oh. Hey, did I really break that completely? Does that not work anymore? I had to double click it. So just like straight clicking doesn't work anymore because it's like starting like a drag and drop. If you double click it, it works. That gonna confuse people. Huh. So on drag kills the ability to just like regular click it. On pressed. On pressed. On clicked. Let me go look at something in this button. It's this one here. So let me look at on... Where's that button? What the hell is going on in here? Let me find where this is. Button item. Where's your implementation? So we have on pressed. That's... Oh no, we do have on clicked. On hovered. Oh, it does this. It just spawns it. Yeah, I can kill this. I don't do that anymore. We do have on clicked, but it doesn't recognize a click because if you double click it, it makes it try. What? I don't understand this. Like, I thought for some reason it was going to allow me to click through this, even though it creates a drag and drop, but it doesn't. Like, click. That guy is really weird. What the fuck? So I can't just click it anymore. It's starting like a drag and drop. Click. Like, but double clicking it tricks it into working. I don't know why. You can technically use this out here. This is going to confuse the shit out of people though, because it doesn't follow your mouse. I guess Fortnite, you build it. I don't allow you to build like. You'd have to like really look down to do it how they do it, like this. It just creates a drag and drop. So I suppose I still wanted to leave the ability to just click it. Oh, here's an issue. Okay, so here's something I wanted to check. So if you hit 1 and then you hit 2 while doing this, it just drops it. Okay, that's as expected too. So I'm still moving it, but I hit 2, it just drops it. Okay, that's good. That's fine behavior. Uh-oh. Oh, no, it doesn't. No. Okay, so that is a problem. Is if you're still moving and you... Okay, alright. So we need to block the spawning from happening if you're moving. I'll do that in on the function that actually calls it. I think that's possibly a bad idea. Let's do it instead. We'll do it at the hotkey bar level. This should just be a function like that, but we'll just block it right here for now, which is a little bit weird, but Is preview moving active, which is a very weird name for are we. Whatever. So this just has to be false, or else you can't do this. This should all just probably be one function somewhere, but this is nothing wrong with this for now. So we'll just block that up front. I don't want to have to... I need a more like generic way of forever blocking that from ever happening, but for now this will do it too. So if you are in like a Fortnite system, it's like if you're building, you can't. Well, in Fortnite, if you were building, it would just kill the preview. It would kill the preview and switch to the other one. But in my case, that's not how this game works. So 1. So I'm moving it. I haven't placed it yet. And if I hit 2, nothing happens. 3, 4. You can't do it until you place it. Then I can hit 2. With it selected, the logic is fine. Because these objects need to be told that they're no longer moving, and if you don't do that, then the collisions turn off and like all this other stuff happens. They need to be like explicitly told. So I could either write that... I could either write the mechanic that leaves it there, or you just can't do it. And for now, it's easier to do that one. Like this. And then this immediately brings to issue that... Okay, I like the floor. How do I change it? I haven't written the material gun where you can just like load up wood and be like wood like that. That won't be that bad though. We just need to write an interface that's like we're attempting to change your color depending on what component got hit. Can this component change its color? And then it just does it. I've already written something that's pretty similar. Oh, big jump. Not as fast as the Fortnite is a hover delete, so you just hover X, hover X, hover X. We have to actually click. It's not that much worse, but kind of is. Okay, that's pretty good. Didn't break. It just ate like a whole morning. It's 10 o'clock. It's not that bad. So, what was I actually supposed to be doing? I'm into it. Super into it. This is completely bad. Like it conflicts on a MacBook Pro, which is an even taller monitor. This is even worse, probably. They're gonna overlap, but I have to design this HUD to take into account that I want you to be able to do that. I like it a lot. Looks awesome. It's just not designed that way. But it works. So I answered some questions. Oh yeah, so my job is to finish building all the pieces, generate all the icons, build some more props. I want to get rid of all of these except for like some other stuff. And I do want to build more of these actually. Oh, you can't just click. I forgot I didn't fix that. That's another issue, isn't it? But anyway, grass. Grass. I just want to make some like hills because I deleted the maps where you had grass, so people are probably like, the hell am I supposed to make exteriors now? I just need to make a couple more pieces that would help people make exteriors. Oh, you can't click this. You can double click it. I gotta fix that, or at least figure out what the actual issue is. Or it's like you have to, but it's kind of wonky. It covers it so you wouldn't think that you could drag and drop to it. It's not clear at all. Two. Oh, this is so much better though, because you can just recall the pieces that you like. That's probably why all games do this. We're almost a real video game. Half walls doing half wall things. Snapping. I need a floor. Yeah, so you kind of go shopping and then you take out your favorite ones. I like this. This is, I think, how all games work. Go this way, and I can hit 2, and then 4, and then 2, and then 3 for the 90. 2. Huh. Yeah, plant some grass. There it is. Why can't I click these? How do I fix that? It's like on mouse press down. Like what? I need to be like if I let go and I'm still on the button or something like that. It actually completed the press. Maybe there's like a just easy. That's just a pending kill thing. I'm like throwing logic at it, but it's like being garbage collected or something. Okay, so I had Blender running the whole time. Luckily, Blender doesn't take up any resources. UE4 on mouse preview. That's not how you spell mouse. Mouse preview button down. Blocking. Clicked? Pressed? Is that what it is? It's blocking this from happening. Okay, okay. On mouse, nope. Button shoots on, nope. Nope. Button, nope. Nope. What was it actually called? This one. It is, nope. Oh, did I get rid of it? On clicked. That's what it is. It's blocking on clicked. That's a real shot in the dark that this would exist. Yeah, consume. Yeah, yeah. Okay, this is kind of it. It's probably just something about mouse events that I don't understand. How to make UMG block left and right clicks. That's not what I want. Left mouse button pressed release. That's not it. That's because these are like for the widgets, the UMGs. On clicked. And then I have on mouse preview button down is blocking clicked. Or it returns. It's consuming it here. I kind of need like on released if it's still there. It doesn't consume it or something. I don't know how this works. I don't know how you overload a button to have drag and drop and press. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just don't do that. I don't know. The amount of individual strands of grass and their heights. Well, the user, that's not currently an option, but we could. I could just make different versions. I could make like a short grass and a long grass block is more the way I'm going versus having like giving you the option to change it per block. It's like you just go get the right block. I think is simpler and faster. So I guess buttons can't be drag and press at the same time. So if I was to ship this would confuse like everyone because one, it's not clear that you can drag and drop to the hotbar, and two, most people probably just want to do it the old way to start after 2 years of doing it this way. I don't know how to fix this. So basically like the mouse button is down, which supersedes pressed, and then if drag is detected, detect drag if pressed. What is this? I don't know what this thing is. What is this? Event reply structure. I don't know what this is. Like, can I do like in switch? What is an event structure? Pointer event structure. See, this is all like, I think this is like Slate stuff. I don't really know what these are behind the scenes. Like, what is that? I know you can do like handled event reply. You can do like this. But I don't know what that is. This probably says like drag or something, like detect drag or like there's got to be, or I don't know if there's got to be. There's like, it's like, so this is like passing forward that drag was detected. And then it goes to this, it calls that essentially. I need like on released. Maybe on. Can I do like on released if there's no drag detected. I don't know how this works. I think maybe more generically, it's kind of like UE4 button drag and pressed. Like, is this possible? This looks like it might be it. Oh yeah. Trying to create a drag and drop spellbook action. I'll override on mouse button down. However, it consumes mouse down. Yep. Down and up. That looks like it would be it. This is working. When I click, if I drag and drop happen, I move away from the button style will be pressed until it's out. How do I fix that? It's pretty much something. The buttons have their own built-in functionality. The switch states automatically, normal hovered pressed. You have no control over it. Or to be more precise, this functionality is not exposed to blueprints. Yeah, because it's like a slate prefab. Using precise click and initiating a drag and drop robs the button of the opportunity to respond to switch states. I know buttons and their styles are neat. Has its own. My advice is to avoid drag and drop with buttons if you don't want to deal with the side effects you observed. Let me try this up and down shit, because I don't care if the button looks bad as long as it works. So you can tell it how it clicks. It is down and up. Oh, don't these typically have to be precise click? These usually have to be precise. What did he change it to? I think I have to change that to precise anyway. Experiment with buttons precise click and you'll get it to work. Let me try that. Just remember that it was down and up by default, which is the default state anyway, so it's fine. Just reset it. What am I testing? Oh yeah, clicking. No. You can double click it, but I'd have to like, I think basically like that widget, the button widget or whatever that button is, it just doesn't have that functionality. I'd have to go write a button that basically has the on released and checks if it's still there versus, yeah. It's like, oh, it's like if you drop it on yourself. If you drop it on yourself, what about that? Like, that's kind of wonky. That's really weird. Like, but what if I do an on drop and you drop it on yourself? It spawns it. It acts like a click. Like, is that what's happening? So how do I check that? So how about override on drop? What am I checking? We're gonna do like cast to that weird ass one that I named, and if it is that, like if it we'll print something. We'll just do this like, and if this is it, I'll just call this. I'll just call the clicked function dropped on self. Now that's going to get weird. Like that means a couple of things too. Like if I drag it onto this, it dropped on self. It doesn't do it. Like if I just click it once, it doesn't drop on self. But if I drop it on itself, it does. Huh. Okay, that's a thought, but that's not good. And then it would allow you to like do this, which would be bad. Okay, so we don't want to do this. So we don't want to detect on drop on self because this is not good. It's happening on this mouse preview down is the issue. On drop, we're gonna get rid of that. It's this. There's something here that I can do. It's like if drag is, oh wait, detect drag if pressed. I need to like it if it isn't detected. What do I do? Like it needs to be like if this doesn't wait. If the mouse is down, you detect for a drag and you return it. It doesn't have the case where you didn't get it. It's kind of like I need like a Boolean out of here being like false. What is this event? Damn it, what are you? Event reply structure. Event. Oh, there they are. Capture mouse, clear user focus, release mouse capture. Jesus, unlock. I don't know what any of this is. End drag drop. Detect drag. End drag. Capture mouse. What is clear user focus? Lock mouse. Unlock mouse. I need a boolean here. I need like a switch. It needs to be like, if it detects a drag, do it. If it doesn't, don't do it. Like, just make the buttons work normally. It's got to be in here. I'm sure it's like we just fix this right here. So like detect the drag, sure, but also let it pass through if we don't. Mouse event, pointer event. I just don't know. I don't even know how these work. I just copy and paste this off of like tutorials. I don't really know what's actually going on here. Like, what is this mouse event? Event. Pointer event. Get cursor delta. Wow. Get last screen space position. Is mouse button down? I don't know any of this stuff. I mean, I can kind of tell, but this is kind of breaking. I need to have that work. I do have a Wacom, yeah. Oh no, I don't. It's over on my Mac actually. How do you get this to work, man? What is this? On mouse preview button down. It generates. We don't need that. It generates an event, a mouse event. We pass an event to this. And this is basically probably saying, I could almost double click it and see what it is in C++. I don't want to do that. It's going to take the event and it's going to basically be like, if it's this left mouse button, we return some shit. I don't know. We return true drag or drag event or something, which then calls this. I don't know who's running this tick, like of this gets passed to this. I don't know how that works behind the scenes. So I don't know how to intercept it. So drag and drop breaks this situation. So I have two things that I can do. I can either... I should probably just go all the way with it. That's probably the move. What I should do is hit tab. You can't click it. You can technically double click it. But most people will be like, broken. Right, so it's like, what I should do is be like, okay, fuck it. You don't click it anymore. You have to drag and drop it there. We just make it extremely clear you have to drag and drop it there. I don't really like that solution, but like, I mean, it should do that anyway. If I write it, it should be clear. It's just not clear now. I could basically do like, I have to rate it like huge, like somewhere being like, you have to bring it down there. So I just have to, there's almost nothing I can do that's going to make that like actually clear, especially because we have a lot of non-English speaking people playing this, but I still want people to, because I think like the first time people come into this, it's like, it looks like this. It's like, and you don't know, you want to click it. It's like to have to then go to here is just bad. It's like, that's like an advanced user thing, right? Most people like, well, whatever I stack into this, most people won't change for quite a while who are brand new. You do just want to be like that one, and it works. And like eventually you're like, I wish that we could, we have a hot button. Like it should be like it should be something you find out later, not like you have to do it. The Minecraft, you have to do it. I just need to fix this. I'm just gonna write a Facebook post asking how you fix this. That's what I'm gonna do. And just, we're a little bit away from shipping anyway. Anyway, I still like this. Like worst case, I could just make it so that you don't drag and drop. Change it and I just get rid of I leave the functionality. I just turn off the drag and drop element of it. and it just proceeds as normal. There's just also hotkeys just for those things, which sucks, but like, we could do it that way too. Like if I had to like ship it like tomorrow, I would just turn it off and be like, here's hotkeys just for these. Okay. Not as smooth as Fortnite. Shit, I really want to fix this. This breaks, this like, we did all that, this kind of like makes it bad. Makes it bad that we did this, because this doesn't work now. Because I think we have like a really straightforward system for like people who are brand new. It's like, oh, you click the thing and it comes out. What's simpler? So it's like, to break that is dumb. It's really a bad idea. With complexity, we just made it harder to do what you want. For someone who's new. Fuck. How do I fix this? How do we fix this thing? I'm gonna take a screenshot of it first of all. It's my screenshot, and then I'll send this to the old Facebook group. What mode do we want? We want window. No, I want the rectangle. Come here. I should like draw in Photoshop what I want. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Untitled 3. Untitled 3. I should probably post on the forums. Yeah, don't change anything. But I don't like old internet forums at all. Hold on. Just in case my Photoshop has some weird shit in it. 1020. We've done both good things and bad things to the system. Nothing crazy. Okay, we're good. Nothing crazy. Open. Desktop. This. Oh, I don't have my Wacom tablet. I wish I did, but I want basically this to be like... Oh, it's a big font. If not drag. Don't consume left click into there. That's what I want. Probably doesn't work that way. Boom, like this. That's what I want to happen. If not drag, don't consume left click. Yeah, that's as much as I can understand it. I'm sure if people who like program Slate are like, that's not what you do. That's not how this works. But I have no idea how it works. To the book. Okay. 4. So, with UMG buttons, if you override on mouse button preview down, it consumes left click, and you can't then normally on pressed. I think that's what it is. On pressed or on clicked. Let's get it right, just so that we just don't do it wrong. On clicked. There it is. On clicked. With UMG buttons, if you override on mouse button, put that in quotes, on mouse button preview down, it consumes left click, and you can't normally on clicked, or it consumes left click and on clicked doesn't get called, is there a way to allow on clicked to be called if they're, yeah, that's it, basically, that's it. That's more or less it. So we'll see if anything comes back on that one. Other than that, I mean, is that a full day of programming? Not quite. Not quite. But for sure my brain is pretty much done thinking. I could 3D model something. Way better. And it just looks like a normal video game. It's like, oh, maybe if I push that button, things will happen. And it sets us up for tools, which I have to start prepping this to work for. Like having tools in creative mode, which never existed. Really, I should fix it. Like, if it does work, I should make this menu so it's like, hey, put it down. Like, I don't know how to do that, though. Drag and drop over there. And make this, like, I guess, skinnier. That's not great. Or, like, small. You know, honestly, if I just make these icons, they are kind of gigantic. It's because it was supposed to look like an iPad. I was, like, all into, like, Swift programming it for, like, a month. And I was like, I'm going to design this like an iPhone app. And that's what this is. This, like, bottom iPhone bar widget switcher situation. If I essentially make that smaller, if I even make it just like half the size for these icons, then it wouldn't overlap it. But then it's kind of like, it's gonna look weird. This was programmed before this existed, so now they just don't go together. And I could almost like, all the solutions are not elegant for sure. Like this is pretty clean, this UI. Like I like this one, how this came out. It's very straightforward. You don't need to know anything other than that you have a mouse with a left click button. That's it. Oh damn it, double click. But even if I get the click to pass through again, I still need to make it clear that you can do this and then have this not block it. So in any case, this UI, another solution would be to just skinny it. Another solution would be to anchor it to the left, which those are both not good in my opinion. I think this is perfectly sized to allow these to fit. Yeah. So yeah, that's not good. I could lose a row. That's not good. I could hinge this, anchor it on the left. I was going to literally just put like an image that says drag and drop with an arrow, like drag and drop here. It's just like it's just an image that says it, because like that's the only way, and I kind of need to do it without writing if possible. Is the UI gamepad supported? What do you mean? I believe do return unhandled so the event can pass event. Oh, let's try it. Let's try it. But then wouldn't it not trigger the on dragged then if that, I don't know. Do you have to return this for drag to actually be detected? I don't really know how that works behind the scenes, so we'll find out. But then you can't drag, right? That's the thing. So that's the bool though right there. It should basically be like, if this is false, unhandled. Like, is this, I need a return value. What is this event reply structure? What are you? How can I do equals? No, you can't do anything with this thing. That's what I need. It needs to be unhandled if this isn't drag detected. It's close. Just duplicate the hotbar at the bottom of that menu like Minecraft. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. That was the option where it's like, we just leave it broken, like you can't left click it, you have to drag it. Block UV. Yeah, I was on a search the other day trying to... Minecraft is insane. That's probably how it has such good performance though. They do some crazy UV Atlas stuff to make the blocks be how they are. Yeah, so these are all like not actual screenshots. Oh, there it is. I'll just do like inventory bar, or I could just boot up Minecraft and look at it. Yeah, it's like this, right? Yeah, so you drag down to the hotbar. I wonder how many people of my user group would understand that without me having to say anything. I know people who play Minecraft obviously like, oh yeah, they get it, but like I don't think that many people that play Cinetracer play Minecraft, which is crazy, but like yeah. Let's look at this. Let's see how bad that is. This is so close. This is so close right here. But still, we do have to fix it anyway, so that if you do want to do it, you can. Not new. Just boot into this. So eventually, these are going to be all gone. They will be gone. I just haven't written the UI that replaces it yet. So yeah, I suppose. I mean, when you open a chest in Minecraft, is it full screen? Like, because the thing is, like, if I put this here, it's kind of like, well, it's still there. It looks kind of gross, like. But we do need some. That is kind of. I could put it in line. You could bring it up. No, let's bring it down. So it should be like. It could be like I could just jump in right here. Like I could just take 48 pixels, 72 pixels here. And it's like you just drop it right there. But then like the categories are here. You should probably have to jump the category line and bring it down. Oh, my on drag is broken now. Yeah, I think that is the move. It's like this inventory exists to populate this now. It's not to directly shop out of. If we go ahead and leave the left click completely blocked, I should put this here and like in huge text be like drag and drop onto this, that sort of thing. I've taken something simple and made it more complex, which is like not good. The other one's simpler, where you always have to go shopping, but it's kind of infuriating after a while. Like especially as we have, like, say I go make like as many pieces as I anticipate to make from this, it's gonna be like I don't want to keep coming back in here. I just want to put like I can't click and drag. So yeah, we should design this. So I could put the big categories at the top, and then put the hotbar on the bottom. Let me see how bad that looks. Let's just start messing around. I gotta redesign that UI anyway. That wasn't my plan today. So let's see if I design this in a modular way that's not so hard. I think this is just, yeah. So hopefully this has its size called out. It does. So I could just go like this. Boop. Oh, that was easy. Let's see how bad this is. Now let me go back to, let's go fix that button for now. It's a switch between these two. I guess you probably can't do that. It's probably just, this is probably just not allowed. So I guess if I fix this, it's like, it's not so bad. Like, right? Oh, okay, we need to drop like a line. This is still reasonable. It almost makes more sense at the top because like the reason you put these, there's a name for this type of, in iOS programming, there's a name for this type of switcher, like it's built in. The reason you put these on the bottom for a iOS thing is because your thumbs are at the bottom of the phone, so you put them at the bottom. It probably doesn't make as much sense here. It probably does make more sense to have the categories at the top, like a website would be. So I'm okay with that. And then what we do is on department menu, when this comes up, we just stick the hotbar. I'll just eat out 72 here because I don't want this to go down further. I'll just have to drop in another thing here, and then that goes there or something. And then it's like you have to drag down into this. I like the drop shadow it added by default. You can change that. You can like, there's like a function, or there's like settings for like is always drop shadow and stuff like that because it looks nice like this. I might change these to be a color instead because it's not as clear. This is more like a normal website to have it up here anyway, so I'm okay with this. and then you just have to drag and drop into it, and then we leave it broken. You can technically like do like this weird double click, but it's like, yeah, okay, so what's the best way to do that? Basically, I have to take the functionality that was that and put it there. Damn it, if I had just made that its own widget, I just drag it in there and we'd be done. But I hard-coded it into the main widget, oh well. And then that one doesn't accept drag and drops anymore. It's just a visual, which is kind of cool. I made something simple complicated overall. It's not very good. But that would do it. That would do it too. Uses some crazy UV. It sure as hell does. It's insane. Like I saw like basically I asked people who like mod it, like how does this work? And they were like, we don't really know. We just use this like program that does it for us because the atlasing is so like it's just done in code. It's not like you just UV it a certain way. It's like I think it's dynamic as well, like depending on like where you which way the block is facing and what's on top of it and all this other stuff. It's not simple at all. For performance reasons, it's so they can spawn like a billion blocks and, you know, it play like reasonably well. What do you think your core user group would be? Filmmakers. Filmmakers who don't play Fortnite or Minecraft, funny enough. Filmmakers who don't want to learn Blender, who don't want to learn any 3D programs, they just want to make a storyboard that's lit in like 30 minutes. That's what I read it as. Now we have a lot of we have people who, other people, but that's like the main group of people, and what I designed for as well. It looks better like this to some degree, but then like it's also kind of like the fact that this color is the same as the button background is kind of disorienting. I don't think anyone's gonna like not get this now, but I could make this smaller for sure. Make these a little smaller, and if I... Damn it, I should have just made this all one. And now that the... So, basically, if I put this... Oh, it's because of precise... I almost like not precise click, because it centers the button. Like, so even though I'm grabbing it here, or here, it centers it into the middle. I like it that way better, actually. So this isn't too hard, right? So I go back to this widget and I just add a new row and I put this thing in there. That means that I have to init this thing instead of initting the main widget. This department menu should be part of the main widget. I don't want to do that. Should I do that right now? Like put this as like a child? Put this like oh man, I don't... I could probably do... I have 3 different game states now, so I'm not confident that I can do that, because like this menu can come up no matter what. Like it doesn't care about the game state. It just comes up on screen. It's drawn last. It comes up front. Doesn't matter. Like if I put it in the HUD, now I have to remember like who's on top and stuff like that. So if I take this and I put it there, right in this line, I have to call all these init functions. I have to start talking to this department menu instead of the main HUD, and that sucks. Like that's not cool. That's gonna have to get like torn out at some point. I also want, when you pull this up, that this doesn't go here, so you don't see it. It's kind of confusing, but like it does feel right? It's like, okay, let's go shopping. Like we want the oh, I'm so used to them being down here. We'll go to buildings and I want some floors. We'll take that one. I'll take this one and I'll take this one. And then you just load out. Yeah, it's like Minecraft, right? So it's kind of like I should do that. And so all that logic that was in the main HUD is now in the department menu. Almost all of it, except for that's just a display now. It's purely just a display. It has no interaction, and the department HUD is the one that's actually loading out. And we just leave it broken. You can't just click the things. feel like that's worse for some reason. Like there's something just so like simple about like a single click and it just doing it versus like you have to load it in there. Like, but it does start to break up. It is the beginning of like, you know, teaching the user base who don't come from Minecraft or whatnot that it's like you put it in there and then eventually you would drag in like a tool and the tool would be for like doing like rapid color changes or like painting foliage or something like that, which I might do like a foliage gun in a little bit. It just like instance paints them out there. I guess that's the move. How much time is this? Okay, I could do that in an hour. I just have to move. We have the logic. I just have to put that there and then just recall everything correctly. So the department menu starts to get real busy. Let's go look at that. So essentially, instead of the main HUD, okay, so the high level, this stays there actually. It just doesn't have any functionality. It just, it gets updated, but it doesn't change anything. It just gets updated from somebody. Right, so this still stays here. We just get rid of the drag and drop part of it. Right, it even wants the hotkeys there. We still need to know this. So that stays. But we need to bring the functionality of whatever functions I wrote for this needs to go in the department menu. Or even worse, like the department menu calls this or something. And no. This still exists. This still exists. Right? Because you still need to display it. Right? So that's going to stay there. So this still stays. Right? We're making an array of it, which is weird. And then we're just initializing it with an array of like what it should be. So this still stays here. Right? So I'm not taking that out. But the department menu now, it gets the same thing pretty much. And when you update this one, it has to update. I'll probably just have this will update the player controller list, and the player controller list updates the main UI. It's bad. It's like all over the place, but that would get it done. And we could just leave the drag and drop, honestly, on that other one too. But no one probably would, right? You just drag it right here. So hopefully this content one is, yeah, it's set to fill, right? Yeah, so it's filling. So we just need to take another row here. Size box. I haven't modified this one for a minute. 72. I should make this like a color. It wants padding, but I'm going to start losing... is this a fixed height? It is. It's 800. 800 out of 1080, and then it scales. My UIs are set up like default to scale vertically. Let's put a border in here and just see how this is like feeling. I clearly have caps lock on. That white's obnoxious. Let's just do... Actually, it should maybe be like something like really called out, like very obvious, but let's look at that. Just go look at the HUD and see how bad that is. Hey. It needs like a border to like kind of like, it's like claustrophobic, but yeah. And then this needs a kind of a color change, but yeah, it would just be like, just load them in there, and it'll be like, I'm gonna literally write drag and drop to fill bar. Like I'm gonna have to write that for like quite a few releases until this gets known that this has to happen this way, and then we just leave it. You can't click it, though. You can double click through, which is kind of weird, but maybe people won't do that. Right. And then you tab out, and then you activate your hotkeys to spawn them out there. It's definitely like a work in progress type thing, and that needs a little bit more room, and then needs to like, I'm gonna put like an arrow. I mean, I was thinking about doing hand-drawn UI stuff, actually having like Photoshop brush transparency kind of like things to call attention to stuff that's like all this like kind of clean flat design, and then it's like all of a sudden there's like this like brush stroke. It's like kind of draws your eye to it as needed. Yeah, and then this has to get updated too. But okay, so we got to put these there, and now I really wish I didn't put the numbers in there. because they're not reusable at this point. Or do I make another one? Like a whole nother like slot for this thing. What in mind do you see application for blocking, camera layout, or primarily rapid prototyping storyboarding? With that in mind, I use programs like Floor Planner. Oh, I see. It's for people that wouldn't normally go into CAD programs at all. Like SketchUp would like terrify them, that sort of stuff. Like if you're using a CAD program already, it's like you should probably just use that until we go to that level. I want this to be rapid prototyping. It's like, I got 30 minutes. Let me load up the MacBook Pro, which is the worst computer to load it on right now. It'll get better. It's like, here's a set. The people are there. Here's a camera, a couple lights. And we're done. And we're out of here, right? Like quick. And eventually be like, do that on the iPad in like 5 minutes or something. And then like serve that first and then build out complexity of people that want to like, import and like mocap and have VR and stuff like that. The core user wants nothing, in my opinion, wants nothing to do with. I forgot that these stay white when you select them. My core user doesn't even like will never put a VR headset on in their life, which is weird because we're like an Unreal Engine game, but they just never will. Like, very hard to get filmmakers to put on VR headsets. Okay, so we've got what to do first. We want to put slots here that have we need 5 slots that do exactly this. That's basically it. We need 5 slots that go there. When they drag and drop, they call something that they call the same. It's the same exact button. Should I duplicate that one? I wish I thought of this before I designed it, but anyway, it's like we got it to work. That was the first thing. Now it's like, how do I make this good? So these are now hotbar slots for the main UI. And then we need hotbar slots for the department menu. And they have the same functionality, they just don't have this one button there. So I could make that something that you turn off and on, or just have a separate one. You probably shouldn't overload those. They're probably in the end going to be like a different size. I'm going to make another one and repeat the functionality where these shouldn't even have functionality. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I got it. So what are those? Where are they? And I'll put them in here. So we have hotkey bar slots. That's these, right? This is now, this one that's living on there doesn't do any of this stuff. It doesn't do this. Well, it does the hotkey. It doesn't need to know anything, and it doesn't cast back to the player controller. It's just a dumb version of it. And it doesn't do on drop, right? But the one we're going to duplicate does. So to not break this logic, I could use this one in the department menu, duplicate this and make that the simpler one, versus if I go the other way, this one's looking for stuff potentially like this one already has the player controller references. This is the one we want in the department menu, versus the one we want in the HUD is the simpler one. So I'll leave this one. This one's fine. I'm going to duplicate and come up with a real wonky ass name for it called main UI hotkey bar slot. No, it's the other way around. That one's already connected. If you do this wrong, it's like 10 times more work than the other way. That one's already connected in all the widgets it's referenced, so we leave that one. This is the new one. Okay, yeah, this is okay. So that's the main UI one. This is the department one. And I'll just, okay, we're gonna root. Okay, it didn't trigger a whole recheck. Okay, so this is the one that goes on the main HUD. It's already in there. We'll just clean out the functionality or leave it for now. This is the department one, because that one's already threaded in. It would be a lot of work to have to go replace all the references, right? This is the one that goes in the main HUD. in the department HUD. So for that, I'm going to get rid of the hotkey assignments, I think. I need the vertical space for now. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this. And we're going to just make you... Are you just like what size you are? Wait, who... How does this know how big to be? This vertical box has a size... Oh, it's just filling here. I see. Okay, 72. There we go. So it's 72. We don't need the vert box, so we'll replace with child. So this is the one that's going to go in the department menu. Okay, it's sad. Something happened. Oh yeah, because there's like functionality for the... This continues to need a ref. And so this is going to... Update slot. So who's syncing who? The player controller should sync both of these is what should happen. Like, something happens and the player controller updates the department menu and it updates the other one. Which feels bad, but this should be in the main HUD, but it's not going to be for now. Okay, so who's calling these update slots of this fucker? Oh my god. Let's just go put them in the department menu, then we'll figure that out. So we'll just start with we have a border, and I'll just size box with a H box in that, so we can put size box in there. Then a horizontal box in here. And then we'll grab a bunch of those things. What are these called? CT, WCT, okay, CTW. WCT, how come I can't find that? Oh, you don't do the underscores. Okay. Department hotkey bar slot. At least we need department hotkey one. This one. Okay. Right there. So size box, we will center, drop all padding. Does the border have padding? It doesn't. Horizontal box has no padding. Here's the first slot. Okay. Copy. Paste. We could also have this like spawned out, but I don't know, I like seeing it for some reason. I'm just going to call it slot 1. I'm not even trying to figure out the names of these things. 2. 4. 5. I need more padding and stuff, but and then I'm just gonna I'll read it now. I guess I need like a canvas if I'm gonna put something here and there. Or I could just put what is this, a horizontal box, size box. Size box is like that. To put multiple in line, I would have to overlay or I'll probably canvas this bottom part. I need to have text here that's like drag and drop icons here. Or else people they don't even notice it, right? They're just like, we'll get it to work first. Okay, so we have these slots, and this is a new class, and it's already listening for the drag and drop. And what does it do when it receives it? What's that gonna do? On drop, it's gonna call update slot, which is good. And that's just a visual change, and it's gonna update player controller hotbar items slot. And then this needs to tell the main UI to update too. Because before, it was doing it here. Does this work already? Oh, I should have compiled it. Does this already work? Oh, it was compiled. I don't know. It was compiled. Oh, what? How come that's broken? Okay, well we need to... It wasn't designed to spawn cameras, that's why. The cameras have something special about them we need to worry about. Okay, so it already works. It just needs to update that UI. Oh god, what? That was easy. Shit, it already works. You just need to kind of clean it up. Wait a minute, that didn't work. Because I just hit 3, didn't I? So like it really should be those already. They don't have indexes. That's what's going on. They don't have indexes. Okay, so it does work. And then we'll have, when this gets called, we update the main UI and we're done. Sort of. So they don't have indexes. It's pulling the same index over and over again, even though it's updated. Or what? Who owns this to give it an index? That's going to be the department menu. So we need to make an array and give these indexes. And do we init them or the player controller? No, the player controller inits them. Okay, so we need a function real quick that does. It's just like a function that needs to get called in the front. Where's begin? Construct. There it is. We'll just stick it right here for now. So we're gonna do custom event init slots. They just need to have their indexes set because we created them by hand. They don't have should this array persist? Is there a reason to ever have this array persist? I'll just keep it, why not? This is the main HUD, so this thing lives in memory forever no matter what. So I'll just have it also keep a list of these in case I need to call functions on like clearing all of them or something like that. That's a good enough reason if I want to clear all the slots. Just keep this array around. I either make the array here or I have a function that spawns them and puts them in an array. It's like the same thing. Promote to variable, we're going to call this slot list. And for each, I forget if I have a function for this. I don't think I do. I think I just straight up say set index. Do I not have an init function for this? I must have an init. I bet the init has like, it wants like an image too or something. I don't have an init. Do I have an update? Update player control, update slot. How did I do this before? Well, this will work though, I think. So, yeah, there we go. So now you have an index, and we need to call this on construct init slots. This is all over the place now, but there's the concept. If after this release I hate it, you know, we can always pull it out. I've pulled out bigger systems than this. Let's not do cameras though. Let's just do the blocks here. So this one. This one, this doesn't get initialized. Okay, so that's the issue. Because I do want it to have a default. Okay, so okay. I gotta actually init it from the player controller too. Okay, now it's working. 4, 5. That's what this is. Okay, good. So that works. That works. And now we need to the player controller now needs to push correctly. So on begin play, we also init this. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do we're gonna override this to init slots. It's gonna, we have the same function on the other one, on the main UI. It's gonna also need an array of CT department items. Item info list. Taking a look at floor planner. Yeah, I will. I've looked at a lot of those type of things. A lot of people do want the ability to design like scale floor plans. We'll see. So this has to get called, which is kind of weird, kind of bad, but I have the same function. I could basically have copied it over. So we're gonna call update slot. This feels messy now, and like mentally, I'm kind of like, I'm gonna get this to work, but I'm like, this has been designed like kind of wonky now, super wonky. So this is gonna get this has to get called, This had to get called from the player controller anyway, but I don't like it. At this index. Oops. Oh, okay. And then this goes in there. And then we don't call it, like, this object doesn't like init itself. It has to get init from the player controller. Which it's basically already doing that. So who's doing this already? Oh, I wrote it. Yeah, is that what I wrote already? Init hotbar. Oh no, that's like its actual, that's like the actual data that it's representing. Update. Yeah, and then this is going to push the update to the main HUD, and so we need to call it out here. Yeah, we're also initting the department menu, which I hope it's this CT department menu. It's got to be this. Okay, and we're basically going to do init slots, which is the same thing. It's basically the same function because we're synchronizing. The player controller synchronizes the HUD. There's a hotbar in the department menu and there's a hotbar on the main menu. So that at least kind of makes sense. I like how their name's completely different. So let's see if that does the thing though. This creates that array. This one creates that array. Then we pass that array to these. That feels okay. Let me go here. They're there. They match. That's good. Can you drag on top? No, you can't. Okay, so next is, as we do this, we need to update that one. Because I think this is going to work now. Yeah, there they are. And then I think that's it, more or less. 5. Okay. So, when this updates, it's calling the player controller. And then the player controller can basically just refresh all of them. There's only 5. It's not that bad. It's not like refreshing this entire inventory. It has like hundreds of things. I could just refresh the whole thing again, just init it again with the new list. That's with the functionality that exists already. I don't think it's that expensive. We basically do this again in my hotbar graph. So, update item hotkey bar at index. I'm going to give this a bunch of context. So this basically like a department menu calls this when calls this. That's basically it. Calls this when a slot is updated. And so when we need to update the main HUD, which this is like super wonky walking, so I'm just gonna say like update main UI hotbar to match. So the department menu initiates it, we update the actual data, and then the HUD gets updated. So this should kind of do it. It's not like we're updating the whole thing instead of like one at a time, but I think in certain senses that's better. So, nope, not cameras. Cube, it updated. Nice. Okay, cool. So now that's in sync. And you can technically still drag and drop onto those too, but I'm going to turn that off. And 5. So now it's almost Minecraft, right? So these are down here. So we need to make this like big arrows pointing to it because this is how it works now. This is good. So now if we never, you know, actually that had to happen no matter what, but I wonder if there's like a reply on Facebook. It's like, oh, you just do this and it fixes it, and it's like, oh, well, I'll still implement it, I guess. I don't know. You can bind onClicked to a custom event. Use release or mouse up event instead. Right click on the function start node and add it to, whoa, oh, okay. Right click on the function start node and add call to parent function. This will handle the original implementation. Only call return if so after detect. right click on the function and add call to parent function. That's on this. Add call to parent function. Good God! Wait, is it there? Wait, what? Where does this go now? Oh no! What? But wait, what? Well, that's cool. I never knew that. That's a. I don't know what that means. This will handle the original implementation. Only call return if you don't detect a drag. So after detect, branch, if detected, return result of drag, else call parent function and return its results. Okay, so you could branch something here. What's the branch though? Like after detect you branch, but what's this? What's the branch? Like I kind of get it. It's kind of like this, like you return, because if it did detect a drag, we want to return drag. If it didn't, call the parent function. Like this. It's like this, but what's the false? What's the bool here? This has to like equal something, which I have no idea. I can't get anything out of this thing. Array. No, it's none of that stuff. Widget. Event reply. Ooh. Oh. 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 Wait, no. Yeah, I don't know how to pull. I don't know how to pull a false out of this, a true or false out of here. Okay, so after detect, branch, if detected, return result of drag. If detected, but what's the if detected though? I just need the Boolean out of it. How do I get this? Like, what is this? This correct? No, like, what's like if detected? Like, detected, detect drag. Oh, no, I keep thinking it has a bool, but like, what is this? It's close to that. And it's like this, right? Like, which we could have also just, if I could get this Boolean, we could also just do this, like just return unhandled. But what feeds into this branch here? I'm about to screenshot this and send it back because it's like I don't fully get that. This is gonna compile sad, right? Or no? Are we okay? We're still, yeah. It just doesn't do this. It's this. We didn't do anything actually. So, well, okay. Almost have it there. Almost have some stuff going on. Someone also said the mouse up thing. I think that leaves the button in like a funny state is what happens. Right click on the function start node, add call to parent function. This will handle the original implementation. Only call return if you don't detect drag. So yeah, how do I, so after detect branch, if detected, return result of drag. How do you get a bool for if detected from the event reply? I think that's the question. Well, we might have an implementation for this, so let's check out what else is going on. I think we're good actually. I think like the functionality works. Like that's there. This syncs on the front, and if you update here, it updates there. And you can technically do this too. Oh, but then it doesn't update there, so we got to turn that one off. Let's go turn those off. There's no point to drag directly onto those. So that's the hotkey bar slot, this one. So this is pure display only. So we're going to pull out the on drop stuff. So just don't do any, there's no on drop, don't drop. We don't need a ref to player controller, right? Because we never send anything back. We're only getting pushed. Right, like this. Let's just kill these. So we get constructed by me. As I place those buttons, we can update the slot, and we never push back. And we don't need to store this technically either. We don't push back to the player controller because we don't even have a ref to it. So let me compile this and delete that out of here. Hotkey, stored item info, hotbar index. We also don't need an index anymore, though I'll leave it just in case we ever do. The main HUD might want to know. You would need this index if we were going to only update one at a time or something like that. So we did have to remove that on drop functionality, or else you lose sync. Like, because you could have done this, and it would have been bad. It was out of sync. So now you drag it here. This will make a lot more sense when the walls are not, and the icons make sense. Grass. Okay, we just need to make it super clear that you have to drag and drop onto that. Even if we get the regular clicked ability to pass through, which I think we're going to, it sounds like it can happen. I still want it to be very clear that you drag and drop onto the hotbar. And it's definitely not clear at all. So let's add a little bit of border and a little bit of padding and spacing. That'll help for sure. This is cool. Made Minecraft today. Wasn't exactly the plan, but I like it. So who wants the border? Kind of this. I guess we could give this literally this. No, we want the size box to have the top and bottom padding. All right, so we'll give this like 8. Oh, it's squishing it. So someone's forcing this into a size. Oh, it's that. Okay. So what I can do is just this size box has a size, so I can just add 8 to this, and that'll do 4 on the top and sides, and then we'll add spacers. Nothing fancy or crazy here. 4. I think I've been doing 8. Nope, 4 is good. Never mind. 4 is fun. Duplicate. I'm gonna have to drop a canvas down here. Then I just need text here that's like, I should make this like orange or something like super bright, but I'll start with just sticking some text in there. So we have this, which is in a box, which is good, because then I could either make a horizontal box or a canvas. Probably a horizontal box is the move. And then set them, just have 3 boxes all set to fill. That'll start it off anyway. So wrap with horizontal box, size box. Let me get some more size boxes in here. That one. Man, this HUD got much crazier. So this matters now. Oh, wait. This is the real one. So sbox underscore hotbar. This will be the left one. So if I set this to fill, and auto. Hey, what? Oh, wait, what? Oh, this one has to be set to fill. There we go. Okay, there we go. And so now I have this box to work within here to stick some text in there. I'll think about like a nicer UI before this ships to do this better, but. And drop to hotbar. Drag and drop items to hotbar. That's so nice looking. Nope. Wow. There she is. That looks terrible. I'll have to figure out something. I'll go like UI hunting. I mean, that's the thing that needs to be bright white, is to like really like, you have to do this or nothing works. Like that's how this works now. It's at the bottom, you know, like people may not see it, you know, but anyway, like, well, it'll be like click and you'll be like, the fuck? And hopefully you look down and it's like drag and drop items to hotbar. Bow. Which in the end is much faster for like this, for instance. Like, okay, then I'll grab a stand. Unfortunately, you can't do this in this mode, but well, let's say we're in this mode. Then it's like, oh, okay, cool. 1 for a light, 1 for a light, 2 for a stand, hover, 2 for a stand. So it's definitely. Now this is the confusing part, is that this isn't stuck to your mouse. These are world grid snaps, so that's not clear in this mode. That's kind of weird. I don't know, a lot's changed, but it's kind of cool to be able to like. Why am I doing this? I like it. I like it, but you're forced now into it. So it's like one more step to set up versus just clicking. So I am gonna allow I do want to allow pass through if we can get it to work. It's really just yeah. It's the question is, how do you get a Boolean from this, right? How do I have branching logic from this value, which so far I have no idea. I can't get Booleans from events. That's kind of like my thing. Someone's typing now. No bools. I'm a visual storyteller in this Facebook group. That needs to be like a color, like orange or something. Actually, I use green. Oh, I can't believe I don't have my green. The green I use saved as a thing. I guess I'll just do this. It's probably like 100. Green's column, like my call out color. Matches the rest of the HUD callouts that I do too if I do this. Yeah, drag and drop items to hotbar. It does update there too, so that's cool. Do I literally do you think I have to write like press these hotkeys? I probably should, honestly, like, because that's why I have this. It's like push the hotkeys to spawn the item. Which people are gonna be. I might change the default mode to not be this, because then it's kind of confusing at first. You're like, what the hell is this? Hey. Oh no, that's just the wrong icon. The icons are wrong. I was like, the system is fine. Just the icons are not correct. You know, I could make those buttons too. Like if you're in, it's kind of unnecessary, but like if you're in this mode, you could click them and it would do the same thing. Wouldn't hurt. It would just be on pressed. Same thing as the hotkey being fired. I'll not do that for now. Well, let me maybe like, and everything's gonna spawn like down here. I don't know if that's necessary. I'm actually trying to simplify the UI, and so far, it's not happened. This is definitely like more complicated. But if I can get people using hotkeys, I guess technically you're supposed to make scroll. No, that's not. These are satisfactory hotkeys. It's like you're just kind of you're kind of favoriting these. Yeah. It's not actually equipping anything. We don't have like if you put in like a certain object, it would then equip it. We don't have that yet in this mode. In the other mode, I do. visually for sure that could be called out more. I think for today, at least that it works is fine. So this has been an entire day to make this work. I'll watch this VOD back. I'm not going to clip this for Instagram or anything. It's not worth it. And I probably should, just to watch it. There's things I've like implemented, clipped it, and then like the feedback is instantly like not good, and I'm like, well, that's not going in then. I'll change something about it before it launches. So it probably is worth it. The thing that's kind of confusing now is that now that this is like icon based, it's like these icons are terrible, and this really becomes about getting the icon art right. These aren't making sounds. I can just go add sounds to the buttons later, but they definitely need like a kind of... I have that on my other buttons. I could just copy the script across. Just lets you know that like it actually happened. Oh, I thought the drag is your custom function. Then I'm not sure how to find that out. Oh, this is a custom function. I see. Well, let's try on release or on mouse up. On release is going to fire it in a way I don't want. I kind of know what's going to happen if I do that, but let's see here. UMG mouse events are horrible. Drag and drop from 4.6 is different and doesn't work well from 4.16 plus. I wouldn't say they're terrible. I just can't do this one thing. I've gotten quite far without. It's just this one thing. If I do on release, what's going to happen is that like I'm going to drag and drop and then it's going to spawn it, is what I'm assuming. Like, where's the button? Button item, right? So we have on clicked, on released, on mouse up. Now, on mouse up, we need to then check like if it's on there. If I do this, it's gonna we'll just check it. It's gonna spawn it and it's gonna drag and drop it, I would assume. Right? So if you click it or you on release it, that's what I think is gonna happen. It's gonna spawn it and drag and drop it. Let's not do a camera. Fuck, what's gonna happen if I let go of this? Oh, maybe not. No. It doesn't do anything different. It's the same as if I... It's the same. It's still got... The on release still gets blocked by the drag. Funny enough, you can double click. Which maybe that's the thing. I'll just say double click to spawn it. Click and drag to... But I can't I don't know how that double click is being calculated. I don't know if I'm like glitching it out. I'm not like confident enough that I can just I'd write that in the UI. It's basically like somewhere it's like double click to spawn, drag and drop otherwise to put them in here. I want that green to be there, not this like yellowy one. I think it's 100, maybe like 110 for that green. The system calls this method to notify the widget that a mouse button was released within it. This event is bubbled. I used to know what bubbled meant. So, on mouse button up, do I need to do like... it said it's within it, so I could try doing the... Oh, it doesn't like that somewhere. Oh, we gotta handle it. Okay, so we're gonna call spawn item and then say handled. On mouse button up. Spawn item. I almost believe that would work. There it is. Thank you, internet. Thank you, Facebook. That's the answer. So on mouse up checks if it's inside of it. So if I go like this, nothing. Oh, we fixed it. Thank God. Thank God. That's it. Cool. Nice. Using on mouse up works perfectly. Thank you. We did it with the internet. With the help of the internet today. Cool. So am I good? This is it? I kind of make like a summary about this now. Boop. That UI on the bottom is real ugly. 1. I'm considering having you not select it after you place it only when you hotkey to it. So I'd have like a spawn item and select and spawn item and don't select, which is pretty easy. Okay, and then we go into here, building. Say I want to have a block here instead. This one there, or I can spawn it. So I can use it like the old way, which is what people would want. Is what people expect. That's the way it's always worked. Or I can bring it to the hotkey, so it still works this way, which is great. Or it's like, hey, I don't want to do that over and over again. Let me tab starts taking over. It's not good, but then I can use the hotkeys like this. Cool. So all we did was add this and that. And are we fully laced into this? Is this all going to be... I think it's all set as far as an update. We're set up for tools now too. If it's like you have to... We then have a whole like a switch enumerator situation where like you have to check what's in the hot... Well, you're not equipping those. Those aren't equipping. They're just... They're just shortcuts to this. That's really what they are. They're just, for now, they're just spawning shortcuts. We don't actually have states. We don't have that like kind of state change kind of thing happening here yet. Oh, it doesn't go down there. It goes here. I think it's good. I think that looks pretty good. I might make these buttons up here light gray so that they stand out against this, so they're not the same color. But then I have to, then I maybe make these white or something. Maybe I'll just leave it. This is like website stuff. This is like old school website design. Is like horizontal top bar for categories and then a frame, which I don't think they do frames anymore for websites. Let me get all my ramps out here. Ramp, ramp, ramp. I guess you can't tell because they have So the Minecraft way would actually be then, if you hit 2, it wouldn't spawn it. It would just be the selected slot, and then you would right click and that would spawn it. Which, that's more of an equip thing. So it's kind of like you hit 2, and if you equipped an item, right click spawns it. If you equipped a weapon, right click does whatever right click does, like for that weapon. So this would, we're not ready for that. We need to have our first tool before that makes any sense. But it'll be fun, I think. I like game mechanics and stuff like this. I don't know if everyone's gonna like that. But for like this system specifically, we want to look this way. North matters. Yeah, let's use the system a little bit. And a wall. Yeah, I'll leave the stairs, I guess. I don't even know what this is. Wish I knew what that was. So, for instance, if I build this set using generic walls, I might say, hey, I want to make this wood too, and I want to make this bricks or something like that. Before, you would click it, which is still not a bad way, but like you would click this, and a UI would pop up and would be like, click what material you want to change, and this whole menu, and it's this whole thing. Whereas I think what I'm gonna do is like you equip, but the problem is it's like cool, that works, but then you have to do like 10 times. It's literally the only workflow still. Or you create it and then you duplicate it across, which now is not as easy. Instead, what most games do is that you get like a paint gun, and you'd like equip the gun, and you would load up in that some sort of menu says like, well, what type of material is in there, and then you equip it, and you just left click in this mode, selection turns off, and you just left click, and then everything you clicked became that material, and you just go to like a whole room. And I think that is the way to go. We're still just a little bit from that, because forever the game has been left click as select, but as soon as we have a tool, we would then have to have a tool that's select instead. It would be like I don't know. You'd have to equip the selection tool. Otherwise, you would be paint, and then it would be painting things, and then you'd have like, I don't know. In Satisfactory, they have like a destroying gun, like it like returns it to the inventory or whatever. You could have like a delete gun or tool. And then it would be the same thing for like a dirty tool. Like if you want to make this dirty, you don't select it and go through a menu. You just like take out the dirt gun and you just start clicking on it, and you just like click, 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 click. It's like much faster. Like draw splines between them and stuff like that, like a spline tool. Like this. You would like, I think I know how to write that. You would basically, this would start it here. It would do a planar projection here, and you'd be drawing a line across an invisible plane, and you could end it, and it would have drawn like you'd have like drawn a spline essentially. And I'll just like sample points along it at like a certain distance, and just like, and then you'd be able to like hang ropes and stuff like that. That all requires tools. I can't do that, which is the problem with like these. Do they even still exist? I'm not even used to this stuff anymore. Oh yeah, like these. Yeah, that was the problem with these ones, is like it's not a complete. This has like the spline logic in it, but it doesn't have the tool logic yet. And you had to select it, which is kind of awkward. But the splines know which way to point, so that's good. But that needs to be more fluid and quick. It's just like 3 spline tool, do it, do it, do it, and then get back to the select tool. Which we might do like a Fortnite thing where you have like a building menu, and then you switch back and it's like the tools, and then you switch back to building, and we'll get there. This was the start of it, to actually have this working. I could pretty much ship this now. Nothing changed except that you can now hotkey them, but you can still do it the old way. Like you may want to. You may not want to throw that in the hotbar. That's pretty good. Okay, that is gonna wrap it for the stream. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks to the Facebook group for the assist on the on mouse up. For some reason I thought that was just going to be like generically if you ever release the mouse, but it's actually if you release the mouse within the button. Very clever. And thanks to the YouTuber that showed us how to make grass, because I think the grass looks pretty good. Better in light. Better in the sunset though. It's pretty good. I don't know how expensive that is to do that type of shading, but all my trees have it, so I think they do. And that's a good enough reason to update to 4.23 because if I ray trace the sun now, which I usually do in my demos, the grass won't have shadows. But cool, I'm gonna head out. And what's tomorrow? Oh yeah, full week. Let's finish this motherfucker. I gotta do... So that was kind of a tangent. Let's make all the floors on the walls. That's not that many. Ooh, all the stairs is pretty rough. The roofs... Yep, that's rough too. Shit. Okay, I've got a lot of stuff. And I've got this dining table. And I need to make... Oh, we have the kitchen. Where'd the kitchen go? Where's my kitchen? It's just the icons are crazy. I just don't remember. Oh, yeah. This is what we did yesterday. This is awesome. I'm super happy about this. This came out great. In the recap video, it's like half a second, but I think it gets like across. Yep, happy with that. I've got a lot. It's going to be a lot of modeling in Blender. But with this hotkey now, I'm pretty happy. So like I can put the kitchen, like, it's just not the right icon, so it looks ridiculous, but kitchen, real easy. Just keep bringing it out. Delete it. I don't have a reference to it anymore. 5, put it back. Nice. Same thing with that. So, must rebuild the walls, the floors, the stairs, the roofs, and build out a couple. The kitchen collection goes in here. It shouldn't be up there. Build out a couple more of these collections. Maybe build like 1 or 2 prefab, like pre-built houses to kind of show people how it works. I want to build out some more of these pieces. I could probably get that done in this week, I think. Week or 2, or month or 2, year or 2. Boom. Okay, cool. Well, until next time, peace.